Fire on your mind. The Culture Clinician.
Shame me about going to Thailand. You can't shame me about going to Africa,
right,
or Portugal, or Morocco.
Right.
Them days are over. They're over.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of black women don't believe the fat meat is greasy. But I'll tell you what, you'll find out myself. Yes, I am from North Carolina. I am country, and I embrace all that. So,
I'm gonna use that. Damn it, the fat meat is greasy. But you know what? It goes back.
They're leaving here to go to Latin America to be with a Latin woman, and it's almost like implying to women here that you're not doing your job good enough, so I'm gonna go to South America to.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Is sex in your travel itinerary? It's one of the travel goals for a community called the Passport Bros, meaning brothers. It's a traveling community of upwardly mobile black men. Some are accused of going around the world searching for a more traditional and submissive wife.
And women is getting engaged to men after writing to prisoners. They start dating them and everything. But y'all still want to get on planes and go find people overseas. Apparently, there's something wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm not understanding that. Like, black women are actually finding people who are just in prison and just starting to write to them and date them and then get married to them. There's something that's not adding up and it's not computing. I don't know.
You have got to be kidding me if this woman thinks she's taking a shot at Passport Bros because women are going to prison to find. All I want to say is, this is why I would never date a woman in the United States of America again. This is not taking a shot at Passport Bros. This is actually making a point that we've been saying even when I was shout out to Brazil. You see this? I do this for the culture, to let them know what it look like. Oh, y'all don't know that? Shout out to Brazil. Yeah, these are my shirts. Go on my website if you want one. Got Colombia, all that. Shout out to everybody that's really delving into the culture, yo. Brazil for real. That's what I do. But to all the cultures out there, we more than just. I just love the fact that we showing all of the dudes that travel that we more than just one thing. And we doing without even trying, yo. We creating stuff for us, real travelers, yo. But shout out to all them cats, man. We doing it. We just getting started. That's the crazy way. Somebody gonna say, yeah, the world watching, y'all look crazy. No, we look beautiful. We look handsome. All the people that's traveling.
I'm tired of America, so I'm hitting Richie on the net. I got the tickets, that's a bet. We need to link, my brother set it up. Damn, I didn't had enough. Ooh, I won't lie. Can I get a little shake with them fries? My skin tone is matching your eyes. Black men, you know we like them thighs. And baby, she can do it all. Your land is my land. Cut through.
Have you been distressed or perplexed? Emasculated. A book written by Edward Fields IV. Everything that needs to be known about men in modern time. Listen, men are not complex. They are misunderstood and unappreciated. Learn what men really feel, think, and desire. Also observe their struggle for acceptance, love, and belonging. A must read for every man in this classic book by Edward Fields IV. Emasculated. Go get your copy now.
Pain. I've been there. Locked up inside my head. Broken from fear, illusions, disappointment, and hopelessness. Who heard me in my silence, where being a man means nothing? Despair. I've been there too. Desperately seeking answers for the questions associated with manhood. Hills and valleys, too bleak to compare. Stress. Suffering in a utility silo. No comfort, no security. No freedom, no justice. Just do it for others. Challenges. Who will help me break the challenges? Lost in the vortex of darkness, hopelessness, fear, and abandonment. I've been there too. I've been there too. Take the next step to your destiny. Join me in this fight. Walk forward. Deep breaths. Head held high, men. Come join me, men, in the winds of time. Stories, hopes, visions, purified in the fire. I'm not a superhero. And I'm not the Reverend Knight. I'm here to help you. Join me, men, in this fight. Break the chains of your mind. Let's do it now. For now is all we have.
Fire for your mind. The kosher clinician.
All right, guys, we're going to have a powerful show on tonight. I got a special guest in the house as we talk about the differences between the passport gentleman or the blue book gentleman and the Pukemah pirate. I came up with a term called the Pukemah pirate because the Pukemah pirate does not justify or more or less equivocate what a blue book gentleman is. It's safe to say that there are some men that are changing the ecosystem of other countries. But however, we're going to explore whether or not they're going to have success in going to other men's countries and desecrating their country by being ignorant, foolish, and gullible. Get your pens and paper ready, guys. I'm about to drop some fire for your mind on tonight. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're going to have a good show on tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. To the 35 that are watching, I appreciate you brothers tuning in. It's going to be a good show. And I'm going to drop some fire for your mind on tonight. Fire for your mind. To my heart. Listen. This show has been dear to my heart for a myriad of reasons. This show has been dear to my heart because this movement is beginning to grow. I told you guys that needs drive behaviors, and getting these men to vote with their feet, they're going to stop talking. But I told you guys that there are some that see you as a rat. They see you as a rat. They don't see you as a human being, but they see you as a rat. Because see, what rats wants, guys, most rats want resources, they want attention, they want time, and they want security and settlement for sex. You know, sex that they gave to, you know, Raekwon, Man, and Day for free. And see, you know, this program is important because a show I did back in the past is that many didn't believe that the fat meat was greasy. And, you know, that's a colloquialism here in North Carolina, the Tar Heel state. You know, it's a Southern colloquialism. And many don't believe that the fat meat is greasy. But now, as they're beginning to see that the fat meat is greasy and that men are not eating the fat meat, some are beginning to use shaming language. Because, see, high quality and high value women, shout out to Kevin Samuels, they don't use shaming language to, you know, suppress, seduce, or to shame men back into submission. But what mature, high quality, and high value women do, they work on themselves and they become a better woman so that they can secure the kind of man that they want. But see, women that have low value, and shout out to all the good sisters. There are some good sisters out there that I call hidden gems. They're hidden because the world have not seen these type of women. The world has not been able to understand these type of women because many times the hyenas often, you know, they make these women look bad because many of these modern women, they don't want to change. They don't want to change their behaviors. They don't want to do what's necessary to secure a man. And I know what I'm talking about. Hold tight, guys. Hold tight. I had to put my battery in. And I know what I'm talking about, guys, because I had a conversation with a gentleman today, and he was a white gentleman. Shout out to Brother Jay. And he was talking about the struggles that his father went through. You know, he was talking about the things that his father went through. And listen, guys, this is not a black man's issue per se. It is an American man issue. White men and black men and all men are going through this issue that we're having today. But consistent with Tavis Smiley said that when white America get the cold, then black America will get the flu. And these conversations are important if we're going to have balance in a time, in a world where masculinity appears to be under attack. Shout out to my man XL Pro for the $5 super sticker. It's been a minute since I see my man XL Pro. XL Pro sent me that brother XL Pro, and I appreciate it, sir. Thank you, XL Pro, for the phone. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it so kindly, sir. And then also shout out to my man Tim Howard. Not Tim Howard, but my man Gregory Scholar, always showing love. Gregory Scholar said BGS is onto something. The more women, black women in particular, are making passport brothers bigger. We as men need to become indifferent. I agree with you. This, like Edward Anderson is saying, we need to stop explaining, qualifying, and caring. And you 1,000%
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
The opposite of hate is indifference. And, you know, as a clinical therapist, we talk about some guys called a paradoxal directive. And what a paradoxal directive is, it basically means that, you know, we don't care what the masses say. We just do what's best for us. And it appears that's what men are beginning to do now. They're not caring what the masses are saying, but they're beginning to do what's best for them. But sadly, guys, in this current epigenesis of men beginning to travel, you still got simp surfers that are going across or traversing across the internet causing chaos. And you know, simp surfers are part of the Pukemah movement. I created a term called Pukemah, just like the word puke. They're called Pukemah because they were raised by their moms, and everything they do is synonymous to puke. You know, they puke on everywhere they go. They up in Brazil, they up in Colombia, they up in Dominican Republic, flashing. And see what they do, they go into those ecosystems and make women that have been trained to be traditional and patriarchal become more westernized. And see, in this movement or the epigenesis of this movement, they begin to associate all men that are part of the passport movement or the blue book gentleman movement. Shout out to my man Brazil Yeesh. Shout out to him. He coined that term blue book gentleman. So I want to make sure I give that brother credit because I'm not one to take other people's ideals and run with it, unlike some content creators. So shout out to Brazil Yeesh. I look forward, brother, sometime during the show with you. He came up with the coin, the blue book gentleman. And it's important to talk about the blue book gentlemen, guys, is because, you know, there are gentlemen in this movement, but also there are Pukemahs. And Pukemah pirates are men that actually, as I said earlier, going around desecrating environments, but also they go to environments by stealing the glory and trying to steal their women to make their women become the same type of women, consciously or unconsciously, just like women in the West. And I told you guys that there are two types of simps we talked about in the past. There is the conscious simp. The conscious simp stands for he sacrifices important masculine principles. A conscious simp knows what he's doing. He knows it's wrong, but he continues to do it anyway. That is the conscious simp. But the unconscious simp stands for supplementing irrational male patterns. An unconscious simp really is a supply man. He supplements irrational male patterns because he doesn't love himself. Many times they were born in single-parent homes where they didn't have fathers. And I want to make sure I qualify that every man that's born in a single-parent home is not necessarily a broken man. Every man that's born in a single-parent home is not a broken man. I see you, Pablo Frescobar. I sent you the link, brother, in the back. Pablo, go check your email, the link. Well, actually, I'm going to send it to you now. This is for Pablo only. This is for Pablo Frescobar only, my special guest. This is for Pablo Frescobar only. At some point, guys, we will have a live conversation, but this is only for Pablo Frescobar. If you guys come on at some point, you cannot talk over me, the host. You cannot overtalk others. If you have a difference in opinion, it's okay. We can agree to disagree as men, but we're not going to get in our damn feelings and, do the funky chicken, and get mad. Men don't do that goofy-ish. We can agree to disagree and keep it moving on. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. So Pablo, the link has been dropped. Shout out to my man Cortez Smith. Cortez, I got that news breaking hand first on. I had another homie that sent me that information that you sent me, Cortez, and I appreciate it, brother. Share this stream, guys. Share this stream. It's going to be a good show on tonight. We're going to look at all the nuances and the variants about the Pukemah pirate versus the Blue Book gentleman. And once again, shout out to my man Brazil Yish. But the Pukemah pirate makes you puke. He makes you puke because he has no decorum. He has no je ne sais quoi. He has no style. He has no substance. And he's basically a reckless man that goes into other communities causing chaos. That's what a Pukemah pirate is. And see, those kind of men, guys, are dangerous because what they do, they desecrate the image of American black men in the West. And what they do, they equivocate every man from the West as being, quote unquote, a sex tourist. They're going over there doing whatever. But as I told you guys before in the past, you can't be a tourist if people are more or less promoting the desecration or the denigration of their own culture. Women love gringos. They love them for a reason. They love them because gringos symbolize hope, but they love them because American men in general, not all, but American men in general are not as patriarchal. That's why they love American men. And we're going to talk about it in a minute. But some of you guys are disgusted for justified reasons because some of these men are this. And yeah, guys, they're puke. Pukemah Pirates. Pablo, hold on, brother. I'm gonna get you in a minute, man. I'm gonna cook a little bit, then I'm gonna bring you up. Just chill in the back, relax. I got you, bro. We're gonna drive this and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it Eagle style on Pablo. Pablo went to North Carolina Central like myself. Good brother. And we're gonna chop it up in a minute. But we're gonna have a good conversation on tonight, guys. We're gonna have a great conversation. We're gonna break this thing down. Because I told you guys once before in the past, the ret supervisors are getting upset because they don't want you men to be liberated. They want you guys to be servants to their cause, and they don't want to do what's necessary to earn your respect as a man. And I told you men that when you don't have standards, then therefore you don't have values. When you don't have values, then you don't love yourself because you've been conditioned to become a slave in a culture that does not honor or respect masculinity. And that's why you go to other cultures acting like banshees, acting wild, acting goofy, messing up the ecosystem, causing distress and shame to other black men that have a special interest in a certain type of woman. And I can understand the consternation of those said men. I understand it and I get it because, see, some of you men are looking for wives, and that's why I created a term called #passports and pearls. Because, see, men are getting their passports and they're casting their pearls towards noteworthy women, traditional women, quality women, women that have been raised to be wives, and women that are not fighting their men for power in that said relationship. And so men are dusting their feet off, they're dusting their shoes off, they're poking their chest out, and they're going to say, I'm going to do what's best for myself. But see, people don't like it when men begin to celebrate because they say they flexing on women in the West. And it's not necessarily flexing, it's a celebration of power. No different than what so many women did when Kamala Harris was inaugurated as the vice president. They call it chucks and pearls. But the parent that I created a term called passports and pearls. Men are getting their passports, they begin to reflect on themselves, and they're beginning to love themselves and do what's best for them. And that's why I solicit you men that are listening. If you can't find you a traditional woman here in America, because I do believe in the right to self-determination, then you focus on yourself. Some of you men need therapy. Kevin Samuels was a proponent of therapy, and I am a therapist. And I give non-diagnostic consultations for a good price. I'm giving you something really that most folks can't give you. I can help you work through some of the thinking errors that you have, and I can do a non-diagnostic consultation, but it is not a diagnosis because you're not in my state, and therefore I cannot diagnose you because it will go against the social work code of ethics. But I can talk with you and walk you through some of the issues that you are dealing with so you can fortify your mind, body, and spirit for your future wife. And so, once again, if you hate women, I don't associate with men that hate women. So if you hate women, exit left, because I don't deal with goofy stuff like that. I love women. And I think the majority of the brothers that are listening, they love women as well. But what men don't like, they don't like the behaviors of such said women in the West because it's competition, it's masculine, and they're trying to usurp the power of a lot of men. And that's why men are beginning so frustrated, and that's why these conversations are so important. The Blue Book gentleman is not the same as the Pukemah pirate. The Pukemah pirate was raised by his mama. And once again, every man that's been raised in a single parent home does not mean that he will not be successful. But the exception does not justify the rule. Some men born in single parent homes had uncles and grandfathers and men in the community that helped them in assisting with their mother. But I'm talking about men that over-identify with their moms to the point they cannot delineate or set standards because they over-identify. And over-identification is due to being around women too much. They over-identify with their grandmothers. They over-identify with their mothers. They over-identify with their sisters. And they over-identify. And they don't walk in power. They walk in defeat. And what men don't understand is this. Women only respect power and strength. A woman that respects power and strength can do one of two things. She's going to comply and get with your program, and y'all can have a good time, or she's going to rebel and she's going to walk away. But either way, you're going to win. If she complies, you're going to win. If she walks away, you're going to win. You're going to win either way because, see, in the clinical world, we call it a paradoxical directive. When people decide to say, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, we say, well, go ahead, because that's part of what Gregory Scotland talked about being indifferent. Go ahead. Let them go ahead, go ahead and do it, boo. I'm not gonna, I ain't gonna argue with you. And you continue to focus on yourself because, see, you can't feed their supply when they're in their feelings. Shout out once again to Pablo. Pablo's in the back. We're gonna chop it up in a minute. Like my man Cortez said, please share this live, guys. Yes, guys, share this live. Let's get this stream up. Share this live. I need for the 58 people that are watching, because Pablo's about to come on in a minute. And so, guys, this is an impromptu show that's been cooking for a minute. But, guys, share this stream for me and Pablo. Go check out Pablo Frescobar's channel. And we're going to make this thing do what it do. Because, once again, guys, we don't need any more Pukemahs. Pukemahs are estranized men. They don't think logically. They think with their feelings because they are Pukemah pirates. My man Pablo Frescobar's in the house. Eagle Pride. That's what we do in the 919. How you doing, sir? What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Culture Clinician? How are you?
No doubt, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the stream, man. And we're going to break this thing down together, Pablo. I've been trying to get you for a minute, man. I've been like a Marine scout, man, trying to find you, man. Man.
I'm glad we finally hooked up. I don't have a long time, but I got a strong time.
Okay, you got strong time, but that's all we need is strong time, man. Take about this pathology that's ruminating not only in the Western world, but also in the internet about men doing what's best for them, men that are traveling abroad and doing what's best for them. What do you make of this malady, in your opinion?
Well, one of the things that is most disappointing to me, and it particularly comes from Black Americans themselves, and that is the reduction of Black men into purely sexual, animally driven, base driven people. The portrayal of us as, oh, they're only going over there, for sex. That is one of the most dangerous tropes, slurs, and attacks that has been used against Black men for since we arrived on these shores. That we are, hypersexual, and that this is all that we have to offer and all that we seek. And I just want to cry. That's some BS. We travel for a multitude of reasons, and yes, we are sexual beings, and we enjoy the company of women. But I've seen brothers who have penchants for fine restaurants. I've seen brothers who have a taste for adventure and activities like zip lining, jet skiing, all manner of paragliding and parasailing. I've seen brothers doing all kinds of things abroad in many countries.
Right.
So I mean, they're going out on yacht parties and all kinds of things. So I think the most disappointing part is that I've seen other Black men just try to reduce us to one big giant penis.
Right.
Point to me.
Right. I totally agree. Hassan, I bought your own dog. We really only for Frescobar, but you fine, man. You add some clarity. Brother Hassan, as we continue to blow this thing up and break this thing down, what do you think about the malady that's going on with the false accusations, the overgeneralization, and also the Pukemah pirate? I created a term called the Pukemah passport pirate because the Pukemah pirate is antithetical to the Blue Book gentleman. I think what Pablo is talking about, he's talking about a Blue Book gentleman. And once again, guys, share this stream. Please share this stream. Share this stream with as many people if you can. To the 53 that are watching, once you share the stream, I need you to hit 1. I need about 10 to 20 people to share this stream because somebody needs to hear this show tonight. Pablo Frescobar is somebody that got foots on ground. He's an eagle like myself, so therefore he gets special love. But guys, share this stream. Once you share the stream, I need you guys to hit 1. Once you share the stream. But go ahead, Hassan. How would you like to add to the conversation, brother? Brother Hassan, go ahead. Brother Hassan, how would you like to add to the conversation? All right. I don't. Yeah,
Yo,
yeah, go ahead, brother Hassan. Go ahead. Are you there, brother Hassan?
maybe you have a connection issue.
Yeah,
I know
I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead. All right. So Pablo, while brother Hassan is getting his stuff together, when did you start your Blue Book Gentleman or Passport Bro experience? When did you begin to travel and begin to explore and begin to see the world for what it is? When did you realize that there were possibilities outside of America where you can get a traditional woman that honored and respected you as a man?
Well, back in 2006, remember the days of MySpace? MySpace as one of the early social networks, social media networks. I met a young lady on MySpace who was from Fortaleza, Brazil.
Fortaleza, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Sierra Fortaleza, Brazil. Fortaleza is kind of like the Myrtle Beach of Brazil. It's a place where other Brazilians go and have vacation, and it's a beautiful place. And I had mentioned to her that I always wanted to go to Brazil. She said, well, come on.
Right.
And I was like, really? She said, yeah. She said she worked at a hotel. As a matter of fact, this was when, a lot of hotels were going to online booking. She would help other hotels around the world set up online booking platforms.
Right.
So she invited me. She booked a 4-star hotel for me in Fortaleza, Brazil for 10 days.
Right.
And I think I paid $400 for the 10 days. I mean, it was amazing.
Right.
I was one of those brothers that when I came back on the plane, I shed a tear.
Wow.
Because the warmth, the kindness, the vibrance of the Brazilian people, I had never experienced anything like that before in my life. The beauty of the country and the beauty of the women. People smiling at you every day. People out working out and exercising after work every day and being outside. It was a culture, a fitness culture, a culture of warmth and hospitality that I had never experienced like that before. And so it became very, very attractive to me to want to see the world. And one of the things I realized was that a lot of the things that I had been told, a lot of the things that I had been told here in the United States were lies.
Talk about those lies, Pablo. Talk about those lies. Break that down for the audience.
Oh, you're going to go over there. They're going to cut out your organs. Oh, you're going to get robbed. Oh, you need to be careful. It's not safe. All of these kinds of scare tactics and fear tactics were pumped into my brain, into my psyche. And when I went and I saw the antithesis of that, the complete opposite, and came back, I was a bit angry.
Right.
I was a bit angry that why did I let people who had never been anywhere tell me anything about a country they had never been? And so I was very disappointed in the level of ignorance that was presented to me by people who had no idea.
Yeah, and they don't have any idea, man. And, you got some guys that get scared and frustrated because they think men are messing up the ecosystem. We're going to talk about that because those are the Pukemahs, you don't represent Pukemahs, and neither do I. I believe that most men, or a large percentage of these men that are passport bros, some are doing what they want to do. But as I said, brother Pablo, you've been in some of these countries where the women actually solicit gringos. I want you to talk about that because people always assume that, no, they're just going over there to trick. That's all they talk about is tricking. But talk about sometimes the solicitation that goes on abroad when men are just traveling, but women actually come up to them because people don't believe it.
Well, that does happen. I mean, listen, let me break something down for you.
Go ahead, brother.
American men are among the most desired men on the planet. Black, white, Latino, whatever. It does not matter. And the reason why is because you represent a couple of things. Number one, you represent wealth, power, access, and number two, well, 2 or 3, you represent men who really give women a listening ear that they don't receive from the men in their own countries. You have a reputation for treating them better and for actually listening to what they have to say. So, you know, that alone puts you in, you know, in the catbird seat, so to speak. You're highly desired and highly favored. Now, what you do with that is up to you. There are some guys who aren't looking for long-term relationships. They're not there for a very long time. They're not going to, they don't know when or if they're going to come back, and they have their fun and they do what they do. Now, keep in mind, there are things that are legal in those countries that are not legal in this one. Prostitution being one of them. There's no particular stigma against it. It's just kind of a fact of life, just like we've gotten to the legalization of marijuana. Marijuana was once taboo, is illegal, and all this stuff. Now, you go to certain places in California, in Washington State, man, they firing up blunts all over the place. So, over time, different things, you know, mores and things like that change. There are things you can't do, i.e., run a house of prostitution or pimp and pander women. Those things are illegal in all of those countries. But what goes on between consenting adults in those countries is perfectly legal. And in the places where some of the places where it's not legal, it is decriminalized, meaning if there's not some associated crime that goes along with it, it's not, the police and the prosecutors are not prosecuting it unless there's some other crime that goes along with it.
You know, I want to ask you a question, man. We're going to talk about it, you know, because you and I both have backgrounds in mental health. I'm a licensed therapist, and Dr. William Glasser did work that was synonymous to Abraham Maslow. He talked about the hierarchy of needs. And before we get deep into it, I want to show you something, brother Pablo. And guys, do me a favor. If you have not donated to this channel, donate to the channel. There's some good brothers and sisters that are listening. Donate to the channel. If you don't have any money to share, then just share the content, like so many have done. So please share the content or donate to the channel. These shows are time consuming. It takes a lot of my time. So if you like what I'm doing, donate to the channel, because as a licensed therapist, I want to see you brothers in power. And consistent with what Andrew Baker's saying, and he's right. He said that using passport bros is a moneymaker these days, which is why it's a hot topic. Standing up for passport bros makes no money, but being against them is a moneymaker. And we're going to talk about that at some point. So guys, share the stream and donate to the channel if you like what I'm doing. I really appreciate it. But I want to show you guys something about what not Abraham Maslow, but what Dr. William Glasser talked about. And, you know, Pablo, we had this conversation in the background earlier today. But I talk about it all the time. It's been my base model for why human beings do what they do, but also what men do. What is William Glasser's theory? Developed by psychiatrist William Glasser, choice theory states that human beings are motivated by a never-ending quest to 5 basic needs interwoven into our genes: to love and belong, to be powerful, to be free, have fun, and survive. Is it fair to say, Pablo Frescobar, that American men are not getting those basic elements of power, fun, freedom, belonging, and survival, in your opinion? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that is absolutely fair to say. A lot of men are not getting their needs met here in the United States for various reasons.
Right.
And so just like human beings since the beginning of time, it's one of the reasons we branched out of Africa and spread out across the globe over thousands of years, is because we were looking to fulfill needs that we didn't have, whether it was food or water or better hunting grounds or better places to graze their cattle or whatever it was they were missing. They needed to go and travel to get it. And so this is nothing new. And the passport bros are not doing anything that mankind has not done for 1,000 years.
And you know what the hypocrisy is, Pablo? European men have been complicit in exploring the luxuries of the world. They've been traveling and dealing with, young women for years. You don't hear anybody accusing them of sex tourism or whatever. But as soon as black men begin to travel and enjoy themselves, and then all of a sudden there's a problem. I want you to contextualize in your own subjective reasoning why that might be. But before you do that, shout out to my man, Cody Marshall, for that $5 super sticker. He said, I've mentioned the Maslow hierarchy of needs before. That's something we don't never talk about, and we don't talk about.
But I think Glasser takes it to a higher level. I think Maslow is more basic, but Glasser is a little bit more comprehensive
because it talks about the nuances of men not only being self-actualized, but also it talks about why men are so frustrated. But break that down, that question that we talked about a minute ago, Pablo. Go ahead, brother.
What was your question again? About why?
I think the question is, if you could contextualize it, so there are other groups, whether it be women, white or black, and white men can travel, enjoy themselves. They do what they want to do, whether it is traveling for the joy of the country or being complicit in carnal activities as well. They get no press. They get no denigration. Now, some will argue it's because black men are flexing. Do you think it's because black men are flexing, or do you think because there's a visceral hate for anything that men do, anything that's associated with masculinity? What's your take?
I think there are elements in this culture and in this country who think they still own us.
Okay.
They think they still own us. They think that we are not free people.
Right.
And one thing, a part of that freedom also is the ability to voice your happiness and your pleasure. Right. If I can only enjoy myself and I have to keep it to myself and I can't tell anyone else, that means others might not enjoy it either.
Right.
Because they'll never know about it. That's the whole thing. Well, why you can't just go and be quiet?
Right.
Well, that's a control mechanism.
It is a control mechanism, right? And I agree with Cortez Smith. He said that black men have a right to flex. I think they do have a right to flex because we've been subjugated. And we're not talking about the Pukemahs. We're talking about, the good brothers, the hardworking blue-collar brothers, white-collar brothers, they're not perfect men, but they're doing the right thing. They believe in taking care of the family, and they believe in tradition. Those men have the right to flex because women in the West flex all the time. When they get their degrees, they flex. Do they not? When they get their degrees, they flex. Am I right or wrong?
They got a whole show. They got a whole network television show called Black Girls Rock.
Right. They flex. When Kamala Harris became the president, they were flexing. They said chucks and pearls. But when black men begin to flex, then all of a sudden it's a problem. We try to shame black women. And it's foolish. Men celebrating their freedom is part of what Dr. William Glasser talked about: power, fun, freedom. It's a freedom celebration because now finally they say I can be free and I'm no longer am I limited to the constraints of America. I'm no longer limited to the constraints of mediocrity. I can go and get women that honor and respect me. And that's why men are beginning to do it. And I think it's good and it's powerful. And it's also equally important for the psyche of men. I think it's very important. So, guys, once again, there are 3 people that shared this stream, or 4 people that shared it. I need about 5 more people to share this stream because we want to get the likes up and get the numbers up. Guys, donate to the channel. If you have not donated to the channel, go check out my boy Pablo Frescobar as well. But like I said, guys, donate to the channel if you have not donated. And also go share this stream and get these likes up because we're going to have a great show on tonight.
Hey, man,
Hassan,
I got Brazil Yesh is here. I'm sure he's going to give you some great commentary.
Oh, he's in the house now?
Well, there he is right there. Yesh is right there.
Where's he at? Hassan?
Yeah, that's Hassan. That's Yesh. That's Brazil Yesh right there.
I've been seeing Hassan the whole time. I didn't know that was Brazil. Yes. Hassan is my homie. Go ahead, Hassan. Go ahead, Hassan. Go ahead, man. I didn't know that was you.
Maybe it's
Brazil. That's the song. But yeah, that's the song. I don't think that's Brazil. Yes.
Hey.
But
Well, yeah, I gotta go, man. I gotta get back to work. But I told you I was gonna be here for a short time. I'll be listening. I'll
all
be
right,
listening.
brother. That's perfect. All right, brother Hassan, how you doing, sir? Brother Hassan, are you there? Brother Hassan, are you there? Brother Hassan, are you there? Can you talk? I don't know what happened to Brother Hassan. Shout out to my man Gregory, GCLA for the 5. Yeah, I can hear you. You sound fainted though. Shout out to my man, Brother Gregory, GCLA. I thank you, Brother GCLA. Thank you, sir, for the 5. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's not yes. Yeah, you're right. That's Brother Hassan. But go ahead, Brother Hassan. I love what you be saying as well. You just sound like you water, man.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you better. I can hear you better. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Cool. Listen, all the ladies are doing, like Pablo mentioned, it's not just a tactic, it's a fear tactic.
Right.
And the reason why they're afraid, because before, if it's just you and me leaving, and El Guapo, they ain't worried about that. But when you start noticing droves of brothers are leaving, and then they got the nerve of these men to show their receipt online on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. If I was them, I'd be hot too. How dare that basic dude show me his hot ass wife from Colombia? How dare that basic dude show his hot wife from the Philippines? These MILs think they this. And of course they got upset. Why wouldn't they? Because the greatest, because even my dad used to tell me it's like the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is convincing people that he doesn't exist. And black men, like white men, like every other man, we started comparing notes. And when that happened, we started going like, hey, wait a minute. Your girlfriend started talking about feminism? Like, yeah, my girlfriend started talking about feminism. Oh, your girlfriend saying men ain't issue? Oh, men ain't issue? Oh, I thought it was only me. And the problem with that is, now all these girls are scrambling because the one thing they're more afraid of than fear, closer collision, is competition.
Right.
They don't want to compete.
Don't want to compete, right.
Compete.
Right.
Some skinny Brazilian girls, some skinny Asian girls, some skinny Filipino girls, all the other ladies are skinny. Our sisters over here, I love my sisters, but let's be real. They're not small. They're big boned. They're heavy structured. They put on. Now I'm not snapping. I'm just saying what it is. I'm not making fun. I'm pointing it out. But what Pablo said is so true. Trust me. I have had people who went to Brazil with me and said, Hassan, man, you got to get over there. I said, why? Man, they treat you different. What you mean different? You know, they treat you like you're a human being. And when my friend told me that, I just couldn't get it. I was like, what you mean? So he just told me, you got to come over here, man. It is what it is. So now I'm working my way to get over there to see what the big deal is. Just for me personally. I'm not trying to be a puke dude. No, I'm just trying to check it out and say, oh, I'm just stopping by and say, hey, you want to hang out? No, it's cool. But I think it's important because everyone is trying to win in the end, man. Men are just trying to be better human beings. And like you said many times you're on this stream, you know, you have to go where you're celebrated, not where you're relegated, bro. You can't get that.
Right. Brother Hassan, what's your take on men having concern that Pukemahs are going abroad causing chaos? AJ Shaka, you got to show your face, brother. I don't know you. Once you show your face, I'll bring you. Okay, no doubt. Good job. All right. But what's your take on men traveling abroad, brother Hassan? And you know, not only are they traveling abroad, you know, they have a concern that the Pukemah pirates are going to destroy the ecosystem. Do you think that's a valid fear, or do you think maybe in tourist areas, yes, but in areas where the men are actually masculine, they're not going to allow that foolishness in their country? What's your take on that?
Well, I know when I was coming up that most of my brothers and sisters, my brothers in particular, would watch how I move around women. If I was doing something they was cool with, they'd let me go. If I was getting out of pocket, they'd say, hey, man, they'll pull my coat. And that's one thing as black men we need to do. Is it a fear? No. Is it a concern? Sure, because sometimes, like Kevin Samuel used to say, our image is on the line now.
Right.
Our whole image as men are on the line now.
Right.
If one guy grabs a lady wrong or touch her wrong or do something wrong, they're going to assume we all do that. And I think that's what a gentleman got to step up, or a blue book gentleman got to step up and say, hey, it's not how we do that, bro. We show respect wherever we go. If you come with respect, you give respect to everybody else. But the problem is, you have people trying to spoil it by letting their emotions start something else, because it's the situation with Mr. Holloman, for instance. He's a young man. He did nothing wrong.
Did nothing wrong, right?
He did nothing wrong.
Right.
And like any other movement, when a new movement starts, where it's like, I don't know, telling men it's okay to be men, you got a lot of feminists out there that want to shut that down. They want you soft-minded, addle-brained, and they want you subservient to them. And one thing about this passport movement, which I've been noticing, once these brothers start opening their eyes, a lot of men of all races have been opening their eyes to the fact that, hey, wait a minute, I can go somewhere else to get love. Oh, okay, I can go. Cool. They don't want me here? No problem, I can leave. But I also believe we can't let fear dictate how you move, man. Things happen to everybody. But the thing about it is how I think it all begins with your parents. If your father taught you how to be a man, he taught you to stand in your essence as a man, to be the best human being you can be, to take care of yourself and look after people.
Right.
You know what? Because check out, even this gentleman with the comment about Lapeef. And every time they had this episode of Lapeef Nuggets, I saw maybe a week and a half ago, where a young lady said she was feminine. And then her and Anton got into it when he started saying, let me preface, I'm not talking about you or your father. The minute that man went to say what was going on, she started trying to cut the man off, cussing Anton out, and Anton flipped it on. He said, listen, I know you're not feminine because if you had your father in your life, you wouldn't feel free to talk to me. You ain't talking to me. Mm-hmm. He said, and he did it in such a way that kept her quiet. And I don't think he wasn't trying to be mean. One thing about our ladies, you can't check them, you can't correct them, but you always got to respect them. That's what I was taught. Mm-hmm. And I think black women are awesome, but I'm not even mad at these passport dudes for leaving. You can't be mad at it.
Can't be mad at them. Right. I totally agree.
We tried to stay for 50 years, bro. I tried to stay. I'm still trying to stay. Even my father before he died, son, I love you, son, but these women over here are done. You need to go somewhere else. Where we go, Pop? You couldn't tell me because you didn't know.
Right.
You couldn't tell me.
Right. No, I agree. And that's why I said men need to exercise their rights to live their lives on their own terms. And you and I, Brother Hassan, are for Gen X. AJ Shaka, I believe that's how I say your name. How would you like to add to the conversation, young man? Go ahead.
I'm a big, I've been watching your platform for a while now. Actually, I think the first video I seen from you was your first ever interview with Austin Holloman way before he even blew up, just kind of at the beginning of it.
Yes, sir.
So, to give you a synopsis, me coming out of Dallas, Texas, it's a slew of men that I'm in communications with, all my colleagues, and we all got our passports.
Good.
We're not from, the area we kind of all had the same knowledge because we're in the area where it's an expanding city that's growing, and you actually have a lot of foreign women. But the thing that you notice is that they've been severely Americanized.
Right.
I just seeing them out of some other women just bashing like passport bros. It actually made me kind of sad because, I have a unique situation where I have family members who also travel as well, and they told me to go get a wife from overseas and just stay over there. They said, when you come back, enjoy yourself. So looking at this, it kind of makes me disappointed, but, me working in education with kids, I have hope where I'm working with kids even in middle school and high school, and I'm hearing the stories from these boys, and they already know about guys like Andrew Tate or, the different kind of content creators, and they're already telling me that they're working towards one day they want to get their passport as well.
Right, which is powerful, which is very powerful, man, because, so let's talk about Brother Austin. Austin's been under fire. He's from Dallas like you. You appear to be in your late to mid 20s. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I just turned 25 on Monday.
Okay, you're a baby. Tell the folks what you're seeing as a Zennial, man, about modern women and their bad behaviors, and why you also are contemplating or have contemplated or have gotten your passport to find a traditional woman.
Okay, so years ago, my family had got my passport for me once I had graduated high school.
Right.
So in a particular city I graduated from, which was Irving, Texas, right? And I'm mentioning the city for a specific reason.
Right.
One of the most diverse, multicultural areas within Texas, period. And so the experience that I had was, we came to Texas, and when I got to high school, I was getting more attention from the foreign women.
Right.
Now, the black women, they casted aside a lot of guys if you didn't go to the Pookie Ray Ray moniker and kind of rep that flag and stand on it. But in reverse, as I've gotten older, I've noticed where the foreign women have more so went back more to their culture, whereas the Black American women are now so looking for good brothers like myself who've been cultivating our own lane, and it feels
Right.
like a slap in the face, actually. You know, the transition point really right now is just me and my guys. We're just working on handling the rest of the things we need to do out here in the States, anything with school, business, and from there we're looking to start heading on out overseas in a couple of years.
You know, we talk about young man needs driving behaviors, and what do you feel like, and what needs are you not getting met here in America? So Dr. Glasser talked about power, he talked about fun, he talked about freedom, he talked about belonging, and also survival. What do you feel like you're not getting as a man out of those 5 elements that you need to have, and it's made you go get your passport?
Definitely belonging and power. Now, the sense with belonging is, again, I told you it was a slap in the face being in the area I'm in to watch the Black women not have interest in the good Black men, and they resort to more of a Pookie Ray Ray type, and that's kind of been the trend for my young life for the most part. And I'm only 25, so I can admit that I don't know a lot, but based on my observation and the stories of other men that I know, they can tell you the same exact thing. But right now, even power, it's been a hard fight as a young Black man. So many days we're just contemplating, am I doing the right thing? Hey, is this the right step to, elevate me to a different position? So, the idea of learning that, and I believe it might have been you who said this, Mr. Culture, where
Hey, turn your volume up, AJ. They say your volume is low, man. Turn your volume up, young buck.
Okay.
Can you hear me better now?
It's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay. All right. So, I believe it was you who said that different societies and cultures have been cultivated in a different fashion, where the skill set that you have in the United States is curated based on what the United States needs. Now, brothers have developed alternative skill sets where you feel like you don't belong, or why am I putting in all this work and I'm not reaping the benefits, of what I'm looking to get, and realizing that if you go to other cultures and societies, your skill set and who you are as a person for what you represent based on your knowledge and principles of how you move as a man is actually more applicable for you. And that's why I stand.
Right, no doubt. Timothy Harden, the emergence of the passport movement, men are traveling abroad. I got some clips I'm gonna show you guys in a minute. But what's your take on the Blue Book gentleman? Shout out to Brazil, Yeesh, he came up with that term. But then also the Pukemah pirate. The Pukemah pirate has been raised by many times single moms, and I think Timothy, he fell off. So he fell off. All right. But I'm going to show you guys some. Timothy fell off. Some of you guys are having technical issues. But I'm going to show you guys this video file in a minute. What is the biggest, greatest thing that your friends talk about, Brother AJ, that you see? What areas of frustration do they see? Is it in dating? Is it in high levels of entitlement? When you and your friends are having conversations, what do they talk about the most about this particular issue?
Excuse me. Number one, dating back to high school. One of my best friends, we've always talked about, and this is before the manosphere was really kicking in the higher gear on the mainstream level. We were talking about the extreme sense of entitlement. It's outrageous. That particularly in the area that I'm in, you have an oversaturation of extremely masculine women. I've worked in a lot of places within the workforce where you're dealing with a situation where a lot of the more higher ups in a company are pretty much masculine women, and the way that they kind of exude that power is in a way where they dominate the men, and it more so kind of puts you down in the process. That's one thing that we've really talked about. Besides that, the sense of entitlement, that's something that's really prevalent, especially with my generation, with Gen Z. I mean, you can see all that stuff on TikTok. So at this point, I don't even go on there. But I would say those are probably the primary things. Other than that, I probably say, a lot of women just jumping between having multiple sexual partners, and I'll be honest on this platform because this is a great one.
Right.
There was years ago where there was a young female who I was getting into a relationship with, and we had an intimate relationship, and the thing is the young lady ended up messing with another man who was her ex, and she almost gave me a STD. So a lot of the brothers in my circle, we're real like strict and tight now because honestly, we're scarred. Even me just telling them that story, has a lot of brothers shook. So when you see the women in today's society, the my body, my choice, and they kind of flip it to a narrative based on I can be as sexual as I want to be, it kind of makes men frown, and not even kind of.
It does. It's repulsive because it goes against the nature of men. The more masculine you are, you don't want to have the thought of multiple men entering your woman. It's like a man being entered by another man is aversive to a woman, and a woman being entered by other men is aversive to a man because it's the penetration principle. The penetration principle supersedes gender dynamics. The biological imperative of a woman is to look up to her man and to value him. That's why a woman that has been with another woman, some men can look past it. They might not take her serious to be his wife. Some men will, but they might not take her serious to be a wife if she's been, bi-curious. But, he's not intimidated by that or he doesn't feel unsafe. But she's been entered by multiple men. That's the most sacred thing you can give a man is your body. And these chicks getting it in, man. And as a masculine man, you don't want to be damn going nowhere and the guys snickering at you and, saying, yeah, man, I had her. Some guys say they don't care and it's insecure. And I said, you're damn right. I don't feel secure going into a place where other men have placed not only their excrements, but also their phallus. That's unclean to me. So I don't want that itch for my wife.
And I'll tell you what, Kosher.
Right.
And when you look at Austin Holloman, right, I want you to remember what I said. The area is diverse. I've said the things about how the women perform here. Why do you think he left Dallas? Because we're seeing the same exact thing. And there's many more men that's coming along who are about to do the same thing. So, regardless of how society or whatever.
They're leaving.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. Regardless of society or whatever constructive powers, the passport bro movement has been around way before I was born.
Right. It's been around for a while. Right.
And it's going to continue to grow, especially since when you have good young brothers like myself who see the women acting the fashion they act, I'm repulsed. So I'm definitely leaving now.
Right. This young woman breaks down why men are beginning to travel abroad. And once again, guys, do me a favor, share this stream with at least 5 people. Some of you guys have done it. I appreciate it. Donate to the channel if you have not donated. The robot just texted me a minute, guys. And that robot said, tell my people to get these likes up because the robot said he got bills to pay. Guys, get the likes up and go feed the algorithm. Thank you. All right, I appreciate it. So, guys, we're going to listen to this Latino woman break down why so many are frustrated that black men are beginning to travel. Brother AJ, as we begin to break this thing down, I want you to let this marinate in your head. Do you feel that all passport bros are the same? And if they are the same, they get an unfair representation because of the Pukemah pirates. The Pukemah pirates. And the Pukemah pirates go and destroy ecosystems because many times they're like Raekwon, they Shermite, and Man. And often they say this when they can't have their way.
Yeah, put chain on them. Balls on my mom. They be broken balls. Kill some of my mom, bro. They back me look like gang. That's on my mom. Gang. That's on my mom. Gang. That's on my mom.
All right, so
wow.
Yeah, Day and Man, because they are Pukemahs. Pukemah because they were raised by Ma, and every time you see them, they cause chaos, and they also make good men like yourself want to puke. All right, so this is what this woman is saying, guys, and y'all tell me what y'all think. She is giving you guys a reason why men in general, especially black men, are getting passports and leaving.
Here to go to Latin America to be with a Latin woman, and it's almost like implying to women here that you're not doing your job good enough, so I'm gonna go to South America to find it there. And I think that's where it really starts pissing women off, because as a woman or anyone, like, you only know what you know and you only know what you're doing, you know? So like things like this raise controversy because you see a man, whatever, going to South America and it's like, why is he doing that or whatever? People do things for a reason, and his reason is, I don't feel like I'm getting what I need here. Now, women will argue that it's because, no, you can't handle a woman here, or you can't handle being with, what is it, like a boss lady or whatever people are calling themselves nowadays. You can't handle that. You should learn how to be more of a man to be with a woman like myself, right? That's what women will say.
And guys, once again, that's a shaming tactic. I don't know what's wrong with this mic, guys. Y'all have to forgive me. I don't know why I don't know what's going on with this computer. It's brand new. Yeah, I can't fix it. I don't know what's going on. But guys, that's a shaming tactic. It's a shaming tactic, to say the least. Shaming tactic. If you guys are seeing this associated with a lot of these women, it's based on control. They try to control you and shame you because they're not high value women. High value women don't do stuff like that. High value women control what they can control, and they become the best version of themselves. Now listen, there's a healthy shame that's based on principle, and there's an unhealthy shame based on irrational behavior. And that's the difference.
But at the end of the day, men are leaving because they feel lack. They feel like they're not getting that. And I think that's where women, it's like, this is the controversy that's starting to piss them off, because they're just like, why are you doing that? You know, like what is even the purpose of that?
Guys, once again, that lack is due to belonging. Remember, Dr. Glasser said power, fun, freedom, belonging. So men have lack because they don't feel like they belong. I'm doing these shows as a clinical therapist because I'm trying to help people understand why men are saying and doing the things that they're saying. Men need to feel like they can be men and survive in an ecosystem where they often are disrespected.
And then it kind of starts bringing it to like, what do not Latin women have that American women don't have, but what are they doing that we're not doing? You know? And then that whole thing is like, well, Latin women have no problem catering to you, or, you know, being really sweet to you, or saying, mi amor, ¿qué necesitas? Like things like that, like being really sweet to you. Whereas here, that's kind of been dying out. It's been fizzling out, right? And then that also starts teaching women that it's not to say that you need to do more, but you need to be connected more to who you are and stop trying to reach that bar that society is now telling you to reach. The think like a woman, like be more like a man, the podcasts that are out, like it's teaching you how to play this game. But if you're learning how to play this game, it's fine, but it's a game. Like, you're not gonna learn how to be in a real relationship with man and woman, because that's supposed to be a balance. You're gonna learn how to be equal to.
What do you think about what she's saying, DJ Shaka? What's your take on what she's saying? That how are you internalizing? What is your woman?
You know, I feel like it's a script I've heard before. It's definitely some truth to it. It is. I can see where it's a slap in the face for them, where they feel like they're not good enough, or they feel like because the men are leaving, what do I lack? But instead of trying to improve themselves, and how can I improve to start, you know, getting more men in my life, positive men, to become a wife, the more so they internalize in a different way, where it goes in one ear and it goes out the same ear instead of going out the other. So the response is a verbal attack, or a verbal slight, at you and men. But I digress.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
A man. And that's not realistic because someone has to play that role. You have to let a man be a man. And how else is a man supposed to be a man if you're trying to do his job for him? That's where things get screwed up. And then women get mad at he's not doing this, he's not doing that. But you're over dominating.
So, guys, that's based on what Dr. Glasser was talking about. And he was talking about power. Power is what men need to feel like they have in relationships. But so many men have been emasculated or shamed out of their masculinity that they continue to allow that said women to harass, emasculate, and disrespect them as men. Men need to feel like they have power in relationships in order to feel masculine, just like women need to feel safe in order to feel feminine. But people don't want to hear that. Keep listening.
Things. You're trying to do things, right? And then it falls on them. Then men stop doing things. They're not performing or doing what they should be. And it's like, you're literally trying to be equal, So that's where it's just like, we have to understand. And I think it's almost as simple as looking back to how things were back in the day. It's not crazy or absurd to say, like, do the same thing now. Things have changed so much that some people may think like it's crazy to live life that way. But that's how life always was. That's how things always were back in the day, So like, I think it's more about people taking a look at your role, looking at how you want to be, the kind of partner that you want to be, and see if what you're doing right now matches up to that. If it doesn't, then there are things that are going to change. And if they don't change, people are going to go elsewhere. Just like a man is going to South America, women can go somewhere else too. Like, if you want to go to those greater lengths, you can. But why do that if you can just change things about yourselves in a positive way to attract partners that are already like by you and near you?
And this is something this young lady is saying, and I know her heart is right. And I don't believe in partners. I'm old school. I believe in wife and husband. So many people use the word partner interchangeably, and this young woman is a good woman. Her heart is right. But some use partner as a form of egalitarian relationship, which basically says that we're equal when it comes down to power and delegation of that said power. I don't believe in partnerships because a partnership means co-equal in power. But I do believe in a wife and a husband. I do believe that men shall allow their wives to make certain decisions if that man being the head see that decision as being necessary and sustainable for his kingdom. But I don't believe in partnerships. And even good women like her have been in the West. It's been more or less embedded in their psyche to say that word partner. But your wife is not your partner because your wife is not your equal. Men and women are equal as human beings, but they're not equal in role and design. The husband is the caretaker. The wife is the receiver and the recipient of that man's care, and the children are the fruit. So you can't have a wife and a husband scenario when they're both partners are equal in power, because that's emasculation to a man. Women, your best power, your best asset for power is your ability to be feminine and to honor and respect your man.
And welcome back.
All right, guys. So fair use. Now, guys, this is going to be a barn burner. Because, see, Pukemah Pirate, or Pukemah the Pirate, is the one that's causing a lot of consternation with the Blue Book gentlemen. Shout out to Brazil, yes, once again. Pukemah Pirates. Pukemah Pirates are what some call dusty ninjas. And Pukemah Pirates, guys, many times are the dialects that are part of the passport bro. They give passport bros that are really gentlemen the same negative stigma and connotation. That's why I came up with the term passports and pearls, because theology say don't cast your pearls to those that are unclean or swine. And I'm not calling women swine per se. It means basically bad behavior. But you guys are going to see that this passport movement is not becoming so powerful now. And I had a brother that sent me this, and shout out to that brother that sent me. Actually, I had two brothers send me the same information. But you guys are beginning to see that this movement is becoming so powerful, like some of the men were saying earlier, they're becoming afraid. And they're becoming afraid because they want you guys to be rats. They want resources. They want attention. They want security. They want time, and they want security and settlement. And what they're going to give you many times is just sex. That's it. Yeah, they want you guys to be rats because they don't want you to begin to experience the power and the freedom that you can have when you can do things on your own terms. But keep listening, guys, as we break this thing down, because this is the diatribe or the negative association with men that are traveling abroad. Listen to this. Fair use.
Factor uncensored. Is sex in your travel itinerary? It's one of the travel goals for a community called the Passport Bros, meaning brothers. It's a traveling community of upwardly mobile black men. Some are accused of going around.
And that's what people don't understand about men that are blue book gentlemen or passport bros or whatever you want to call them. They say they're lames or whatever. But everybody, any man that travel can't be broke and dusty because it takes money to travel. Travel is very expensive. Getting a passport is cheap, but traveling, traversing around the world on a consistent basis is very expensive, especially if you go to Brazil or Colombia or Africa. Some of those plane flights can be anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 depending on where you're flying. So the end does not always justify the means. Guys, I'm going to drop the link so you guys can pop in and have a conversation about this malady. Are passport bros all the same? What's your take on Fox 26 about what's going on in the passport bro movement as well? So hold tight. I'm going to drop the link and we can have a conversation.
The world searching for a more traditional and submissive wife. But is it all about sex and just a girlfriend for hire and then return home to humiliate black women in America? That's the controversy that we're dealing with. One of its members, Austin Holman, is apologizing for comments that he made about Brazilian women. Take a listen.
What I meant by when I said that Brazilian.
And first of all, guys, you guys know I know Austin. I know Austin. You know, I've talked to the young man before in the past. I talked to him in the background. Austin did this to, you know, even though I don't think he did nothing wrong, perhaps he maybe posted too much similar content, but I would say he did nothing wrong. But this woman took Austin's comments out of context, and he just did it, you know, to keep the peace. He did it to keep the peace for the most part. Hold tight. Actually, I got that young brother in the background. Hold tight. But Austin was denigrated for that. And it's unfortunate. Actually, I got Austin in the background right now, I believe. I think he's might come through. But this is to what they're saying. Hold tight.
Women are easy. And I shouldn't use the word easy. I know that now. I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is, for a man that's well-mannered, well-dressed, that has put in the effort to raise himself, he will have an easier time in Brazil as opposed to where I was from. That wasn't always the case.
Both American and women around the world are speaking out against the passport bros, arguing these guys are using their status to take advantage of women and even...
And guys, it's always the same old tired talking point. It's always from a place of lack, always from a place of shame. Remember, high-value women don't seek to shame men. They focus on themselves and become better women. Low-value women seek to shame men. And they don't want you guys to have power, fun, freedom, belonging, and survival. You guys are looking for power, fun, freedom, belonging, and survival, but they also are looking for power as it relates to your power. They also are looking to freedom as they don't want you to have freedom. They're also looking for fun as they don't want you to have fun. And so all of this is important, guys, in this so-called evolution. And so, guys, once again, share the stream, please. If you have not donated to this channel, please donate. I might have Austin come up in a minute But I want you guys to keep listening. Hold tight.
Calling it a form of sex tourism and sex trafficking. Let's talk about it. Communications specialist Priscilla Pack and Rochelle Gemini both are here on The Factor Uncensored. We were supposed to do this last week. We're doing it this week. You have done a lot of research. When you think about and what you've heard about Passport Bros, your opinion on this so-called group.
Let me tell you, they weren't even on my radar. You brought it up to me, and then I saw it, and I was just like, oh, that's cute. You know, guys go and get their passports. My son just got his passport last week. He's 9, so that's cool. Passport brothers, that's what's up. Then I started doing the research, and I'm like, wait a minute. Because I grew up, you know, with 2-parent household. My parents still happily married. I grew up in love. Some people grew up in survival mode, and maybe they just in a whole nother dimension of trying to find love or trying to find easy situations and everything. But at the same time, it was like, why do you have to put down the thing that you don't like in front of everybody just to get the thing that you do want? I don't care.
That being black women in America, putting them down for women who may be of color in another country.
Right, that want to be a little more
also submissive
to
them.
Exactly.
But also paid prostitution in many cases.
And that's what they cover in.
You guys are hearing what they're talking about and literally the same shaming language. I was literally on the phone with my man Austin a minute ago. He's going to come through, guys, in a minute. I need you guys to share this stream because Austin's going to come up in a minute. We're going to break this thing down. We got a good show coming up on Saturday as well. We're going to talk about Passport Bros and beyond. But, guys, remember, a lot of this stuff that you guys see that's going on is a byproduct, what I believe is witchcraft. I believe it's about power and control. And some of it is because, you know, they're dealing with vicarious trauma. I'm going to do that show on tomorrow. But a lot of this, guys, is power and control. It's power and control, to say it the least. And that's why you men must stand firm in your own power. And you can't let these ideologues shame you into submission because that's what they want to do. Shout out to my man, James Turner. Shout out to Timothy Harden, Hammer TV. Shout out to those brothers, Barry Hamilton as well. And once again, guys, donate to the channel if you have not donated, and also share the stream. Thank you.
Talk about it. Communications specialist Priscilla Pack and Rochelle Gemini both are here on The Factor Uncensored. We were supposed to do this last week. We're doing it this week. You have done a lot of research. When you think about and what you've heard about Passport Bros, your opinion on this so-called group.
Let me tell you, they weren't even on my radar.
And guys, you know, some of these old simp servers, you know, they don't have no male genitalia, to say the least. They are eunuchs, because anytime men damn do something, you got these goofballs and these old simps that play a role in this foolishness. And that's why, guys, you have what's called simp servers to go across the internet, causing chaos, saying this.
Why are you destroying our planet?
I have no choice.
Yeah, simp servers, like, you know, a lot of these old modern men, they don't feel like they have no choice. They feel like they got to denigrate black men. They feel like they got to shame black men into silence. And the question remains, is all Passport Bros are the same, or are some just Pukemahs in the midst of the good brothers trying to get wives, travel, and enjoy their lives? But they try to equivocate all Passport Bros as, oh, they're going there for sex tourism. But you guys will see in a minute the hypocrisy that many are actually experiencing, because the same one accusing black men of doing X, Y, Z, black women have been doing it, is doing it, white women have been doing it, is doing it, and white males as well. But when black men do it, then it's a problem because, guys, they don't feel like you have a voice. They want to be over you. They want you guys to be their rats. And I'm telling you tonight that you don't have to be anyone's rat, because you guys are free men and you can be liberated if you know what your worth is.
You brought it up to me, and then I saw it, and I was just like, oh, that's cute. You know, guys go and get their passports. My son just got his passport last week. He's 9, so that's cool. Passport brothers, that's what's up. Then I started doing the research, and I'm like, wait a minute. Because I grew up, you know, with 2-parent household. My parents still happily married. I grew up in love. Some people grew up in survival mode, and maybe they just in a whole nother dimension of trying to find love or trying to find easy situations and everything. But at the same time, it was like, why do you have to put down the thing that you don't like in front of everybody just to get the thing that you do want? I don't care. But
that being black women in America, putting them down for...
Once again, this woman has what's called cognitive dissonance. We know that there might be a percentage of men that are doing that, but they're not putting women down because they hate black women. Once again, the men on this panel do not hate black women. Most men that are traveling abroad for Afro-Latin or African women. They just don't like the behavior, guys. They don't like the behaviors associated with a lot of these women. And because of that, that's why they're traveling abroad. When men tell you what their problems are and you don't listen to their problems, that's what causes these men to be frustrated. And they become even more frustrated because of the Pukemah pirates that are going to these ecosystems causing chaos.
Women who may be of color in another country.
Right, that want to be a little more...
also submissive
to
them.
Exactly.
But also paid prostitution in many cases.
And that's what they're covering up. And you can tell that by...
And listen to this goofball guy. Oh, that's what they're covering up. But at the same time, why the hell do you care? Why do you care about something that men are doing, but yet you don't say anything about the women that do the damn same thing? You don't say nothing about when these black women go on trips to Jamaica or wherever, and they're doing the same thing. Once again, you can't be a tourist if people are not doing the solicitation. So do you hold the women culpable for selling whatever to American men? You can go in some countries and just walk on the streets and women will come up to you. So is that the man's fault? So who is the person to blame? Some men are going to other countries to find wives or for travel ventures or to see the country. There are some that are doing what they want to do, but I don't care about it. It's not my business. That's between them, God, and also their value system. I don't tell other men what to damn do with their phallus. But what these goofballs do, they equivocate the Pukemahs that go to these countries and they overpay, they overspend, they simp, and they go flash money and throw it up in the air to make these women feel good, causing chaos in those ecosystems and making men that are men frustrated are trying to get wives at some point. But you can't damn equivocate all passport bros as the same, because they're not all the same. Just like all black folks are not the same. Shout out to my man Kendrick Campbell for that $2 super sticker, $5 super chat. I appreciate it, Kendrick Campbell. Thank you, sir, for your kindness. I appreciate it. You know, guys, Austin's going to come up at some point, and we're going to break down this malady. And also, I plan to have Austin back again on Saturday. I got a couple of special guests coming up. Hold tight.
By the way that, what's his name, Austin, was talking, because I saw the other videos of him going like, hey, you would have sexual intercourse with me tonight, right? And she's saying, yes. They about to really get a lick on him. That's what's really...
And see, this is what this woman don't understand. One, they don't study Austin's content. Many of them don't study male content. Many, when they character assassinated Kevin Samuels, they look at all his content. They take clips, they look at the pretext, they look at the context, and then the post-text, and then they form a faulty opinion based on limited information because they already have confirmation bias. You cannot have confirmation bias when you're given a fair, equitable assessment. You got to look at all the factors and all the variables, and then you come up with a fair and justified assessment. But you can tell this woman does not look at his content. She looked at one snippet to justify her confirmation bias towards this young man. And it's unfortunate, but you know what, guys? Don't worry about that. Continue to travel. Continue to work on yourself. The men that are looking for wives, don't go looking for wives in resort areas. You're not gonna find good wives in those areas. You can find them, but the chances are slim. Go to areas where you have a higher chance of finding a wife. Go to areas once again where you have a higher chance of finding a traditional wife. Many times in the countryside. And I'm going to suggest, or more or less make an assumption that when you're on the countryside, that it greatly reduces your chance of dealing with women that are not traditional.
About to happen, because I also saw some of the women from overseas saying, yeah, we're just trying to get a lick. You know, they also came out.
Now listen what she just said. We're just trying to get a lick. So most men that travel understand that those women try to exploit gringos. But why isn't the world talking about women exploiting men for their money? Why isn't the world talking about that? But what those women don't understand is that a lot of those foreign men see you women as licks. Those foreign men see you women as women that they're trying to more or less get a green card so they can come back and use you, then throw you in the trash can. Foreign men also see American women as licks because what American men tolerate, those men are not going to tolerate. Actually, men have more power going abroad than American women because when you go abroad, women, then you're in a patriarchy. Here, you're in a matriarchy. Patriarchies are in other countries, for the most part, this is a matriarchy. And so men that grew up in patriarchies are not going to damn tolerate matriarchal behavior. It goes against their upbringing.
I'm saying, we know these passport bros, they not new.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, they're chumps themselves.
Yes.
They're simply Johns on the streets of America.
And listen to this old simp. You know, they're Johns, his goofy behind. And once again, he's no different than the most of them. They don't look at all the evidence. They make a false equivocation, a false judgment, talking about damn somebody or Johns. And they all do the same thing over and over and over again because they have their own confirmation bias. And most of these guys are weak because they placate to women and they don't take a stand or take a hard turn and saying, you know what? I'm not going to let you sit here and denigrate all men and say that they're all doing the same thing. That's why women don't respect American men because they don't have a backbone with their goofy behinds. And he's sitting up talking about, oh, this John, his goofy behind. But yet he don't say this. He don't say anything about the countries that solicit American men for that same service. It makes no sense.
There might be some that might be actually looking for love that can't find it maybe in America, but you didn't let some rotten apples into y'all group, and y'all need to call the ones out that's not doing it correctly because baby, we not just in America. You can claim.
Once again, dear, that's not your case to call them out. You focus on your own movement and let men focus on what men do. We know that there are Pukemah pirates in this movement. We understand that there are Pukemahs that denigrate or desecrate what Blue Book gentlemen are trying to do. Shout out to Brazil, yes, once again. We know that there's a difference between the two. But you need to focus on your own issues and focus on issues pertaining to you and womanhood and let men do what men do. Shout out to my man James Turner for that shout out to my man James Turner. He said, Kosha, she's just upset because nobody is licking her.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
We're going to make this thing
pop off. That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Hold on. Also, they come through. And we're going to chop this thing up. And shout out to the young bull from Texas because we stand strong with this young man. And so, guys, this is for Austin Holloman. Austin Holloman only. This is for Austin Holloman only. All right? This is for Austin Holloman. Austin, the link is there. Check the link out, brother, when you get a minute, all right?
Wherever you want to be, anytime. I don't care. Get a passport. Go find your love. But at the same time, don't put down us just because you feel like you've had some rejection. Deal with rejection. Heal. Go do your thing. We don't care.
And of course,
if you don't care, then why are you talking about it? Why would you care about lanes that you never selected and you don't select? Why do you care about those lanes? But yet at the same time, when the last 30, 40, 50 years where women were saying what they wanted to say, then you didn't speak up. And then all of a sudden, men again beginning to get a level of empowerment and beginning to love themselves, and all of a sudden, it's a problem. Also, the link has been dropped, Young Buck. Come through when you can, man. I dropped the link, and I want you to give the audience some feedback to what's going on, the things that you've been dealing with. So come through, Young Buck, when you can.
We're not talking about all individuals who may travel out of the country, but Priscilla, for those who may be taking advantage of women out there and then trying to humiliate black women in America, your thoughts about that?
I think it's really, really sad. Like, I look at them and
So also, let's go back and recap, brother. Let's go back and recap what some of what this man is saying and what some of these women are saying. And I thank you for tuning in, man. I know it's early in where you're at, but I appreciate you coming through. We got a fire show Saturday, man. Hopefully you can be part of. It's gonna be dope. I got a couple of guys on. But also, what do you think about this whole consternation about what these women are saying, what they're saying, and how they're trying to denigrate you, and also desecrate your name, to say the least?
As far as when the American women do it, I think they probably have heard of me before. If they haven't, they've seen some of my older videos, and they're looking at it as, oh, okay, well, you know, this is his payback, this is his karma, we're gonna get back at him. But as far as the women in Brazil that are trying to slander my name, well, let's be honest, about 99% of them don't even know why they're slandering my name because they're just running with the title without even watching the video. There's a handful of them that have actually watched the videos and commented on my Instagram and my YouTube defending me because they had enough sense to watch the video. But the main Brazilian woman or so-called Brazilian woman that's doing all this, she, from my understanding, she's just trying to build a name for herself, just like a prosecutor, thinking that they can take down this one person that's going to help their career. I guess that's what she views me as. And she's just going around spilling lies on different platforms in America. And a lot of the American women are, it's foolishness that she's bringing to those platforms. But a lot of those American women are just going right along with it. And this is the reason why men have left the United States, because the women around us in our country don't care about our reputation, don't care about us at all, to the point where they'll let a foreigner come in and destroy one of their own men's names, which I don't care if they want to claim me or not, with lies that they know are lies.
Mm-hmm.
Lies that can be proven otherwise by clicking the play button on YouTube. All you gotta do is click play and it'll kill 99% of these arguments, not 100.
Right. And it's obvious, Austin, that this whole diatribe against you was taken out of context. It's safe to say it was taken out of context, but not only taken out of context, but it sounds like it's a witch hunt to me. So they took what you said out of context about saying American men or Brazilian women are easy. And so tell the audience what you meant by that, because I could be wrong. I took it that you're saying that they're easy and they're more cultural when it comes down to traditionalism in American relationships or traditional relationships. Tell the audience what you meant by that, because I think they tried to smear your name, to say the least.
Now, in this video that I have titled, "Are Brazilian Women Easy?" Okay, that is a question. I never said that they were easy in the title.
Right.
Now, when you click play on the video, which millions, if not, hundreds of thousands or people didn't even have enough sense to do. If you click play on the video, the first thing I say is, in general, Brazilian women are easy to deal with. I didn't bring up anything about sex until maybe towards the end or the middle of the video. But I made sure I made it a point to start off with other things, personality-wise, and just other things before I brought it up to sex. That way it wouldn't seem like that was the whole purpose of it. And when I say Brazilian women are easy to deal with, I elaborate on how they're affectionate, how their conversations they have a lot more substance. They're easier going.
Right.
Just easier to deal with. When you deal with a woman, it's not just about sex. So that was the whole point of that video. But that can all be clicked. You can just click play, and then it would kill the majority of these arguments.
Now, shout out to my man Guapo of Beautiful Lives. He was down with Austin yesterday, and shout out to him, good brother of mine.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
In the interview with the Braves has an OnlyFans. We're going to talk about that. We're going to show you guys the hypocrisy. No credibility in the interview whatsoever. And that's what I'm talking about, Austin. So you are not necessarily the passport bro general, but you are one of the part of the face of the movement, even though passport bros have been going on for years. Do you feel like you were a soft target or a hard target in this whole diatribe against you?
What would you describe a soft target as?
So a soft target is easy, somebody feel like they can take down. A soft target could be, okay, let's say if I was a big dog, they won't mess with me, but you're a soft target because you are easy. Do you think they saw you as an easy target because you're young, or do you think you're a hard target because they saw you as the face and they want to more or less reduce the credibility of the passport bro movement?
I would say they probably view me as a soft target, but in reality, it's not that soft when you're just spewing lies and thinking that that's gonna, it's not easy when you're ruining your own reputation because you're gonna get caught lying in the end. And like I said last night on Fox News, when this is all said and done, even if I right now in my mind right now, I don't even want to go back to Brazil, but even if I did, I want there to be an apology to clear up my name anyway.
Right. And that's why I said, man, at some point, if you deem it necessary, and it's up to you, You either let it roll over like we were talking about last night, or you need to get a lawyer to sue this damn woman for defamation of character, man, because it's definitely defamation, in my opinion. She took what you said out of context and defamed you because it was a power move, because they want to more or less use confirmation bias to justify whatever thing they have in their head towards American men and also their ethos. And so I want to show you something also. I don't know if you saw this Fox thing. We're going to talk about that as well. But let's look at what this woman has said about you. You become hot lately for a myriad of reasons, I think mostly good and bad. So I think you're becoming infamous because many people are giving you your props. Hold tight.
To you, or being fizzling that, and then what you're doing right now to those greater lengths you can, but
in your travel.
That's your question, man. I created a term called a Pukemah pirate. And a Pukemah pirate, Austin, basically is black men that go and mess up the ecosystem. A lot of people accuse you fallaciously of promoting sex tourism, which is crazy. My logic has always been, how can you promote something that you have legalized in your country? Make that make sense to me, man. Make that make sense, because it doesn't make any sense to me.
And the thing is, too, so now I guess they've come up with a new definition for sex tourism now, because if you Google it, it's talking about buying sex, right? But now, since I've been an issue, now all of a sudden it's not about just buying sex. I want them to show me a video where I've told men to come down here or go anywhere outside the United States and buy sex. I would love to see that. I don't recall myself ever saying that, because I'm not that type of guy. I've said many times that we cannot sit here and complain about American women and then go to another country and just buy something that, and get a behavior out of somebody that she would behave that way anybody for that has the money. That doesn't make sense. I've always said, go down there and get you a genuine connection.
What's your take, man? Go ahead.
I've never even. When have you heard me when have you heard me say come to Brazil just for sex?
Right.
I've often said come to Brazil to get a girlfriend, get what you deserve.
Yes, sir. Right.
I've said that. But it's understood. It comes with publicity. People are going to try to lie. I get it.
Right. What has this done to your mental health overall? What has it done to your mental health, Austin? Has it caused you to be in a state of distress? How are you coping with this malady, to say the least?
It is stressful. Not because I feel like I'm guilty or anything. It's just it's stressful knowing, like, damn, how far are they going to try to lie? How far is that going to go? Just like, for example, the woman is lying. If I would still been in Brazil right now, her publishing that newspaper would stress me, because it's like, look at how far she's going to lie, to the point where she's doing this. I was about to say something crazy.
Well, no, you can say you don't say it, dog. Say what you want to say. I give you the freedom to say what you want to say. Go ahead.
But no, I can't say it because I want to say something crazy. But.
Okay. Well, let your conscience be your guide, man. Let your conscience be your guide. Let's continue to look at this malady, this man, and tell me what you thought about this whole negative association about men traveling. And it's obvious it's an attack on men that are traveling, and they see you as the face of the movement, not the face per se. You're part of it. But hold tight.
what you're doing right now matches to those groups.
In your travel itinerary. It's one of the travel goals for a community called the Passport Bros, meaning brothers. It's a traveling community of upwardly mobile black men. Some are accused of going around the world searching for a more traditional and submissive wife. But is it all about sex and just a girlfriend for hire and then return home to humiliate black women in America? That's the controversy that we're dealing with. One of its members, Austin Holman, is apologizing for comments that he made about Brazilian women. Take a listen.
What I meant by when I said that Brazilian women are easy And I shouldn't use the word easy. I know that now. I'm sorry. But what I'm saying is, for a man that's well-mannered, well-dressed, that has put in the effort to raise himself, he will have an easier time in Brazil, as opposed to where I was from. That wasn't always the case.
Both American and women around the world are speaking out against the passport bros, arguing these guys are using their status to take advantage of women. And
also, what do you think about this visceral hate, man? This visceral hate towards men that are traveling, men that are living their lives on their own terms and freedom. What's your take on this visceral hate, but also this simp playing right into the hands of this? What's your take on it, brother?
Well, I'm not upset with him. It's just media. It's typical media. Once I heard it was, not even once I heard it was on Fox News, even in a Brazilian newspaper, the way how they worded things, I was like, they're just making that sound bad. They have a habit of making things sound bad. Stuff like this reminds you why Trump called it the fake news.
That's right.
That this is like literally like the perfect example of that. But I spoke with him last night because we did an interview that's supposed to air here in a couple of hours. 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time is what he told me. The energy that he had in that video, where it kind of seemed like he was kind of siding with the women and called us. At one point, he called them Johns.
Right, called us Johns, right.
And I asked the woman, did he say that? And she said he didn't. But I'm like, it's on YouTube.
He said it. And I'm about to show it to you, young man. Hold tight.
Yeah. I was like, I saw it.
Yeah, I'm about to show it to you. He did call you Johns. Hold tight.
Even calling it a form of sex tourism and sex trafficking. Let's talk about it. Communications specialist Priscilla Pack and Rochelle Gemini both are here on The Factor Uncensored. We were supposed to do this last week. We're doing it this week. You have done a lot of research. When you think about and what you've heard about passport bros, your opinion on this so-called group?
Let me tell you, they weren't even on my radar. You brought it up to me, and then I saw it, and I was just like, oh, that's cute. You know, guys go and get their passports. My son just got his passport last week. He's 9, so that's cool. Passport brothers, that's what's up. Then I started doing the research, and I'm like, wait a minute. Because I grew up, you know, with 2-parent household. My parents still happily married. I grew up in love. Some people grew up in survival mode, and maybe they just in a whole nother dimension of trying to find love or trying to find easy situations and everything. But at the same time, it was like, why do you have to put down the thing that you don't like in front of everybody just to get the thing that you do want? I don't care. But
that being black women in America, putting them down for women who may be of color in another country.
So also, is passport bros a flex, or it's just a celebration of power because of the lack of respect that's been given to black men over a span of time?
Say that one more time. Say that last part. I didn't hear the last part.
Yes, sir. Is passport bros a flex, or is it just the celebration of power because black men and men in general have been powerless for a span of time?
Well, the real question is, what difference does it make? You know, why does it even matter to them?
Right. Why does it matter? Right.
What flex are they talking about? You know, flexing what?
Right. I totally agree. Man. I totally agree. But they see it as a flex. BMT, if that's you, yeah, you can come on BMT, but I need to see you in the background. Sometimes, you know, people can use your banner; they can be fake. So BMT, yeah, you can come through, brother. But this, if you come through, I need to see your face in the background. So you got to show your face in the background. I think it is you, but I got to see your face. So yes, BMT, you can come through. Let's finish. Listen to this real quick. Hold tight.
Right, that want to be a little more
also submissive
to
them.
Exactly.
But also paid prostitution in many cases.
And that's what they covering up. And you can tell that by the way that, what's his name, Austin, was talking, because I saw the other videos of him going like, hey, you would have sexual intercourse with me tonight, right? And she's saying, yes. They about to really get a lick on him.
What did this... She took you out of context, man. Break it down for the audience, man.
Yeah, well, number one, I never even said sex or intercourse. I never said neither one of those words. I said go home.
Right.
But, I mean, is she accusing that woman of being a prostitute? Because from my knowledge, she definitely wasn't a prostitute.
Right.
I put out a vlog a few hours ago, and I made it clear that just because these people are in my videos does not mean I'm sleeping with them. I don't get online and tell people who I'm sleeping with.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
That'd be rude. That would no. But anyway, this woman, I don't know. It's typical. I mean, I'm used to hearing it from them. I'm not worried about them. You know, American women, they're pretty much pumping the same propaganda every time they get a chance. Yeah, they're just irrelevant, but
right. Definitely irrelevant, man, to say the least. Sadly, but this woman is so engendered into putting you down and also putting down men celebrating their power and their freedom.
That's what's really about to happen. Because I also saw some of the women from overseas saying, yeah, we're just trying to get a lick. You know, they also came out saying, we know these passport bros, they not new.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, they're
does
chumps
that mean?
themselves.
Yes.
They're simply John.
Now, you heard what he said, Austin. This is the comment where this man, they lied that they called them Johns. What's your take on this foolishness, man? About calling men Johns. What's your take on that?
Are there some Johns that go overseas? Of course, there's always an exception. But I would love for them to prove that to be the majority of the men going overseas. They're trying to accuse me of being a John. I would love for them to pull up a video where they've seen me promote, hey, you need to come to South America or Asia. You need to come down here and buy. I've never told anybody. You've heard me say numerous times I don't enjoy that type of environment where I feel like I would have to. There's just a bunch of prostitutes running around. I don't like those type of environments.
You've been able to internalize why the hate is so strong towards you.
Internalize why it's so strong?
Yes, sir.
Well, I guess we could say because of how I started out, because I started out on a controversial route. And actually, I take that back. I actually did it. The first video that went viral, where I was describing why, after I came back from Brazil, dating in the U.S. was pretty much ruined for me. I didn't shit on American women or anything like that whole video. At the end, I said, American women, get y'all shit together. That's all I said. And I wasn't going the route of taking my entire career where you see me be controversial, go back and forth with American women and talk about them. That's me responding to my comments. I might not tag the comments, but I read the comments and I'll make a video about all these different comebacks they have. But originally, I was just here just to tell dudes, hey, you can get a better deal here. Try this. The women here like this. And the negativity I was met with made me respond the way I did. Now, did I take it? Now, did I go on for too long with it? Maybe so.
I appreciate John. Right. Good job. I respect your honesty, man. So when you go ahead, Austin. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I probably should have stopped by the time I moved overseas, which I did. But I was advised, like, hey, you need to, kind of go back on your rants. Because at first I was practicing ignoring them. And I was like, okay, I don't mind. And once I started going back on the rants, I just didn't stop. But the rants isn't what got me in trouble.
Right.
Honestly, to be honest with you, this is why I don't like American women like that, because had I never been online doing any rants about American women anyway, they would still be siding with this Brazilian woman that's pushing it.
True. Right.
They would still be trying to get me locked up. Whether if I ever spoke about America, for example, someone like Zuma Thailand, he doesn't do anything like what I do. I've never seen him, try to talk or go back and forth about American women or do what I, kind of criticize him the way I have. And had he been in the same situation, they would still try to do the same. It would be no different.
Yeah. Cortez Smith said that according to your boy Barber, where all you did was attack black women, which makes no sense. You talked about American women. You talked about American women behavior. I heard you say it several times. I want you to expound on that.
So I spoke with him. We're cool. I spoke with him. I don't know why he says black women. I don't know why people keep saying that. I think I probably had 3 videos where I spoke about black women, 3 short clips, like 60-second clips. And it's usually me responding to a black woman. I've never came after one specific race. And I would love for them to show me if I have. You know, I would love. I always say I would love for you to show me. I would love for you to prove me wrong because I know what I'm talking about. I've never came for black women in general, but for some reason, it's not just black men that say that. It's black men that don't date women that say that. It's black women that say that. They're like, yo, he's despising black women. If anything, I'm despising American women. Like I always say, my title say American women.
Right.
But that's how you know they're This is I say that's how you know they're narcissists because they think that they're the only ones in the U.S. population that have a female identity.
Right. I totally agree, man. I totally agree. And as I said, man, the visceral hate. Hold tight. It's appalling. Let me see. I don't know what happened. Why can I get the screen off? Hold on a minute, Austin. Things a little slow. Okay, hold tight. Here we go.
Streets of America.
There might be some that might be actually looking for love that can't find it maybe in America, but you didn't let some rotten apples into y'all group, and y'all need to call the ones out that's not doing it correctly because baby, we not just in America. You can claim wherever you want to be anytime. I don't care. Get a passport. Go find your love. But at the same time, don't put down us just because you feel like you've had some rejection. Deal with rejection. Heal.
I want to
do
ask
your
you a
thing.
question.
We don't care.
Go ahead, Austin.
What was that supposed to mean? She said that's how you know that she's just filling up the time slot in the video. I want to let y'all know that we're not just in America. And then she follows that with, y'all can claim wherever y'all want to be. Where did that even correlate?
Right.
She's just talking.
Right. And they all say the same goofy talking points, but it's obvious they have some type of visceral hate because if they didn't, they wouldn't care. Why talk about somebody you don't even care about? It doesn't make any sense. If I'm a nobody, I'm the trash man, then why care? Cortez said what right now? So Austin, we're gonna talk about that. Are all passport bros the same, Austin, in your opinion? Or there's some Pukemahs that more or less make the good passport bros or the blue book gentlemen look bad? What's your take on that?
You always have a group of people that, or a small minority of people that make, the majority of people look bad. Just like you have some, you have not all American women are the same. There are some good American women, but unfortunately, from my eyes and many other millions of men's eyes, it seems that there's that they're not all good, and all passport bros aren't like me. Like I moved. Okay. Most of these dudes either won't go or they're going to travel back and forth. I chose not to travel back and forth. That's why when they're trying to hit me with sex tourism, look, first of all, sex tourism, I was not considering being a tourist anyway. Number one, I took all my stuff from the United States to Brazil with me. I didn't have plans on coming back. That's why I didn't go back. That's why I'm not even going to get into that. But no, all passport bros are not the same. I cannot control what people are doing. I can't. I mean, people have different personalities and everybody's not the same. But I want to say this too. A lot of people have called me the leader of the passport bros. I've never said that. If I have said that, please show me where I said it. Right. I have just allowed that people to say that. I've never came out and said that. I just want to say that because they're going to try to hold me responsible as, whatever is going on and you're responsible for it. I've never even claimed that.
Right. I never heard you say it either. Go ahead.
I didn't even come up with that term, passport bros. I didn't even come up with that term.
Right.
This was out before me.
Right. I think BMT came up with it. BMT, if you're in the house, man, free to come up. But make sure you show your face in the back because we know we got a lot of trolls trying to pose. And Austin is a hot topic now. Some are trying to use this as a moment to disrespect him. So BMT, if you want to come through, come through. Guys, if you like the show, donate to the channel. Go check out Austin Holloman and also share the content. So go donate to the channel. And also, guys, to the 76 that are watching, we got some more information for you guys. The robot said that, he got bills to pay. And guys, do me a favor. Complete the algorithm. Thank you. Right, we're gonna finish listening to this Austin through, and we're gonna break this thing down. I'm gonna let Cody come in and chop it up, and
Of course,
also
we're not
Timothy
talking
Harden.
about all individuals who may travel out of the country, but Priscilla, for those who may be taking advantage of women out there and then trying to humiliate black women in America, your thoughts about that?
I think it's really, really sad. Like, I look at them and I almost want to pity them, but then I don't, because there's a level of ignorance that's deplorable. I'll go ahead and use that word today. I think that they are taking advantage, at least from what they project themselves to be as a group. They're taking advantage of gender gaps and economic opportunities.
Now, guys, listen to this goofball. She said they're taking advantage. How can you take advantage of somebody that's willfully giving? I mean, that makes no sense to me. A person can't come into a strong man's house unless they allow them to come in. Shout out to my man, Big Boss Real Talk, Bossolini in the house. He said, strong, stand strong, young man. The feminists are using you to clout for their agenda. Shout out to Coach in the panel and the chat. Don't let your enemies define you. Don't break any laws. Live your best life.
That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Also, shout out to my man.
Right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?
Again, he said you can see the disrespect of black men by bringing on black women to speak instead of a man. That's right. Big Truck Series has made a point about that in his stream. Shout out to Big Truck Series. Shout out to him. And then also shout out to Passport Mastery TV for the $10 super sticker, man. And I appreciate it. Hearing that woman say that, Austin, they're trying to take advantage, because we know that's a lie. But why so much hate, in your opinion, towards black men on this issue? Not only slandering your name, and we know why, it's about power and control, but what have you internalized about this whole malady, in your opinion?
Why do I feel like they're slandering, black men?
Not only black men, but you as well. Why so much hate, in your opinion?
As far as black men, I think that they're trying to slander our name because they don't really have nothing else, and they've pretty much lost. And they're upset with the fact that men are putting word out there that you can get a better deal overseas. So that it's like Kevin Samuels used to say, it's just a sign language that doesn't work. But that's all they got to come with. As far as me, I'm still trying to figure out myself why, it's going so hard on me. Because I've seen somebody did a side-by-side comparison video where they had, and I don't like to ever pull the race card. I don't ever victimize myself by race. But this was true. They had a white dude that asked pretty much the same question, and there was no outrage about it. And it's still on YouTube.
Austin, bring it, man, we're gonna break it down Saturday. I'm gonna have Dre up here, and I want to bring you back on Saturday too, man. It's gonna be another powerful show, man. Shout out to my man Brandon Jett for the $50 hitter. Brandon Jett showing love, and Brandon Jett, because of your kindness, Brandon Jett, you are the #1 sponsor of this stream. Thank you, Brandon Jett. We're going to finish listening to this, and then I'm going to let you other brothers talk, and then also we're going to finish breaking this thing down. Hold tight.
That are not there in these other countries that are present for us in America, in the States, in Canada, in Scandinavia, all over the world, and not even thinking back to the history of why are women and people made to be so independent in this country today. I think there's so many factors that they shove to the side for their preferences and trying to deem it a movement, which is so disappointing to hear. The civil rights movement was a movement.
Facts.
Anti-apartheid movement was a movement.
Come on.
So I'm thinking of passport bros like, this is a shame. You could really take advantage of your opportunity to educate people on how to get a passport, to go overseas, travel the world, and to learn, and not just make it be about sex. And the fact that now you're putting this stigma on people and black people in America, that is literally mushing us down. I hate that I said mushing, couldn't find a better word right there. But like bringing us down. Right, they all know, they know. But what does that do for our perspective?
Them talk some of them, not all of them, talk so badly about black women in America, saying you guys are too bossy, you're too much, you're not feminine enough for them?
I think that sounds a lot to me like insecurities and the inability to.
And once again, guys, this type of woman and many will never get a husband because this is the minimization of masculinity. I'm going to say it again. This is the minimization of masculinity. They're trying to minimize. Anytime men say something, they minimize it instead of changing their behavior. They minimize what men are saying, guys, because in the clinical world, it's a concept that we use called ecosystemic because many are very delusional. And see, that's solipsism being on full display because, see, solipsism cannot see anything outside of itself. But a high-value woman and a woman of substance will look at herself and say, maybe it's something I can do to become a better woman so that men can stay here in America. But many times, guys, they won't do it because they feel like in order to justify their bad behavior because they have egosyntonia, you're the problem. But no, ladies, you're the problem, the ones that are causing chaos. Shout out to the good women that are not doing it. Men are getting sick of the disrespect, and they ain't got a damn thing to do with no insecurity. Men don't feel safe around women that are not feminine and honorable and respectful. Look at yourself. Get yourself together if you want a good man. But you know what? I think that ship has turned. Men are checking out, and men are beginning to live their lives on their own terms. Shout out to my man, Tim Howard, for that 5. He said, this indeed is not more than them being afraid of losing customers. They know they'll be losing money, attention, and men to boost their egos. And you're right, Tim Howard, many of these women, and I think you guys, we talked about it earlier in the show, many of these women, guys, they want a rep. They want resources, attention, time, security, and sex, and selling it for, boxes they gave to multiple men for free. They want a rep. And Austin and brothers, they don't just want white rest. They want white rest. They want black rest. They want Wanda rest. They want all kinds of rest. They want rest from a spectrum of men here in the West because they want to control men and they want men to tap dance and do what they say because they want power in the relationship. But guys, I'm telling you on tonight, don't let them tell you how to be men. You stand firm in your masculinity. Don't waver in your convictions. Set values for yourself and have boundaries. Also, there was some that tried to throw you under the bus. So I'm sure you felt alone. But I did the show when I did it because I've been under witch hunts. I've been under attacks. I've lost jobs for baseless allegations in the past. And I didn't want to leave you out there, young man, because I didn't think you did nothing wrong. You definitely did nothing illegal. And you didn't do nothing wrong. The wrong could be in the perception of the person that assumed you did something wrong. But when you look at your videos and others, like someone was saying, there's really no difference than what other men have said and done. But for some reason, they saw you as a damn soft target because this woman has a visceral hatred towards black men. Hold tight and finish playing this real quick, and then we're going to let these brothers talk on the panel. Hold tight.
To seek what you want with what you have, where you are. That's what I really think about that. It almost disgusts me and is borderline gaslighting to sit here and treat American women, American black women, and try to shut us down because we may be educated or have the ability to obtain certain finances and social status that we're not in other countries.
And you attract.
It's a shame.
What you put out there too.
It's a shame.
All right.
Like, don't put that on us. Yeah, don't put that on us.
Thank you, ladies, for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Still ahead on the...
And that's why they're going to be ashamed. Also, I know you got to go closing comments, man. And also Saturday, man, we want you back. I want you back in the house. I got some more heavy hitters coming through on Saturday. We're going to have a comprehensive show. Passports and Pearls 2023 up. So what's your closing comments, man? And thank you for coming through, young man.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me again, give me a chance to speak up on your platform. I want to say to show you, it really is that bad now. Now you can see how bad it really is. Just the fact that me trying to tell y'all that there's better options, they're trying to pin false claims on me to stop that. Luckily, they're false, right? So that there's no real, that's not going to go anywhere. But there will be an apology made when this is all said and done.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
There will be an apology. My name will.
Right.
My name will. All those articles that were written, I'm gonna have them go back, and they need to apologize for how they basically try to destroy my name. Not just in Brazil, all over South America.
Right.
There's people in Colombia that know about this.
Right. Defaming your character and putting not only your life at risk, but also your character as a man. So I totally agree with you, man. You definitely need to seek some legal recourse, and I'll let you keep that between yourself. Look forward to trying to see you on Saturday, man. Go enjoy yourself, man. I know you got things to do where you're at, man. I thank you for coming on, man. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Text me in the back, man, if you can come do Saturday, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Be good. All right. Tim Harden and also my man Cody Marshall. Starting with Tim. Tim, how would you like to add to the conversation, man? And then Cody.
Greetings, man. It's been a couple of weeks.
It's been a couple of weeks, brother.
Yeah. Man, looks like looks like Texas made the block hot today.
Yeah, Texas in the house, man.
Yeah, I had to go put on my Texas Rangers cap.
Right. What do you think? Let me ask you a question. Are all passport bros the same? I created a term called Pukemah pirates. Pukemah is basically a man that goes around puking in other countries. And they are pirates because they steal the joy and the tranquility from the ecosystem. I think there's a class of blue book gentlemen, but also Pukemah pirates. What's your take? Are all passport bros the same, or is there a delineation between the two?
No doubt. There's a difference between that would go across if you were talking about some other subject. In the black men, American men, we're not monolithic. And so, but let me back up and add this to it. The passport brother or the passport community has really kind of been progressing for maybe 10 years. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, there's a Nigerian brother from Chicago, Passport Heavy. He's been doing videos, traveling around the world for the last probably 10 years. And so to kind of, I don't know, pigeonhole us as predators. Every time I hear those women talk, this is what I hear. You hear vacillating, conflating, moving the goalposts, and just straight up lying. They vacillate. If you go back and to the clip from that gentleman Isaiah's in Houston, he vacillated between. You heard him say many of, and then he'll back it up and say, we're we're up and coming. So how are you going to be, a predator and an up and coming, upstanding citizen who's got the means to travel? Those two things don't equal. Then if you get and this has just been going on since Passport Bros, has been now jumped in the mainstream. They'll just start conflating stuff. You're going overseas because you're looking for little girls. I mean, how vitriolic is that, and silly at the same time?
Very, very silly. Very silly. I totally agree. Cody, how would you like to add to the conversation, brother?
Well, as a person that traveled overseas before, I say this. The thing is, what I don't like is they always try to stop us from going there. They're trying to keep us on the plantation. Like you said before, they're trying to fight tooth and nail. They're trying to get lawmakers on their side. They're trying to do everything in their power to prevent you from going overseas, to keep you in the legal racketeering system called America. They always been doing it. We've been doing this. Look, white men been traveling for centuries, and we starting to recently do it.
but black women been doing it also, but they wrote a couple books about it.
Right.
You know, they wrote How Stella Got Her Groove Back before it became a movie. Then they wrote a book called The Pursuit of Happiness. And it's being taught in colleges. So again, they're saying that we're tricking and doing all these other things. However, it's not all of us. It's a small few. It's very minuscule.
But even if they are, why do they care? if those countries endorse that, I don't understand. I mean, why do they care? I mean, hell, they tricking over here when you're going on Instagram. WAP culture is tricking. Is WAP culture not tricking? Is Instagram and OnlyFans not tricking and solicitation for the potential of getting copulation or carnal relations? The cognitive dissonance is unreal. Would you not agree with that?
Well, I totally concur. In addition to soliciting, chicken egg thought pockets and twerking on the walls, and you talking to a person that lives in New Orleans. I'm in New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans. I'm from here, so I see women, groups of women, with girls' trip shirts on, just wild punani, okay, just penis grabbing, sitting on your lap, all types of stuff. But here it is if it's a group of brothers, we're tricking, we're doing this, we're doing that.
Right.
I think that it's penis envy and it's jealousy, and they don't want us to leave. Right. That's why I compare to the auto industry of the 70s and 80s, because you remember back in you older than me. The cause.
I'm younger than you.
You younger than me? How old are you, man?
I'm older than you. Did I look that old? I'm only 51, man. I'm older than you.
I'm 41, dude. I'm like 10 years behind.
41. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
And
I'm sorry.
Right. It's like, the malaise era at that time. Once the oil crisis came along, here come Toyota and Datsun, all these other companies from Japan selling these imports that were more efficient, more reliable, more dependable. Whereas the American car industry and other car industries, as far as the English car industry too, that's another story, was struggling to compete with the imports of the Japanese. They just couldn't compete with them. I mean, they borrowed some techniques, however, they still couldn't compete with them, and it's still going on to this day.
I agree, man. And it's appalling, man. The level of vitriol and the ignorance when it comes down to men living their lives on their own terms. Are you a traveler, and what has world travel done for you and your psyche, Cody, as it relates to getting better?
Well, I started. I mean, I haven't traveled in a while, but I know that I remember when I started in high school, because we had a travel and tourism program in high school over 20 years ago at LC Forshey Senior High School, which is now Elijah Bremer,
right?
With Willow under Elijah Bremer campus. They set up. I said, okay, I'm gonna go to this program and see what it is about. I said, okay, I'd like to go to London and Paris. My mother told me that I was gonna get lost. I'm 18 years old. I'm a man. I said, how am I gonna get lost? I know my way home. So I mean, all I needed was my passport, my spending money, and a plane ticket. All we had to do was sell candy and for a fundraiser. It was a school trip. It was a very nice trip. 5 days in London, 5 days in Paris. It was a great trip, great experience. And that's another thing I like about traveling. You get to experience different cultures and different personalities of people. You get to meet people. You get to, and then differentiate yourself from, just from America standpoint. As my mother would say, the world does not revolve around you. It never did. So, that's what I've learned from traveling and enjoying life as it is,
Agree, man. I totally agree with you, 1,000%, man. And that's why men got to live their lives on their own terms, free of shame and free of distress. Now, I want to show you guys something because they always say what passport bros are doing, they tricking and all this. But I'm gonna show you guys something, and y'all tell me if these women are potentially, and this is fair use, if these women are doing the same thing they're accusing, and these women are not accusing anybody of doing anything, but based on their body language, what do you think these women are going to East Africa just for East Africa, or do you guys think they're having fun with the natives? Hold tight. Hold tight.
How freaking pretty is this? It's low tide now, so you could swim out really, really far. Breathtaking.
What's your name again? Michelle. Michelle. Send love.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think those women are just going to travel just to see the world, or do you think some hanky-panky has went on or have been going on based on what you see? Starting with Tim Harden. What's your take on that, Tim?
Just on first sight, I would probably say, they just doing what people do, travel, but knowing what Stella did in Jamaica, yes, probably some hanky-panky went on.
Right. The hypocrisy. They have stories of women these white women, bad-built white women taking advantage of young men in Gambia to the point that they had to tell them to stop it. But you don't hear no damn national outcry yeah, go ahead.
And the crazy part about that is celebrate. It's like it's like it's the right thing to do, as my grandmother would say. You doing it like that's the right thing to do. But then you're gonna vilify men if for simply just traveling, not with I know of course we know sex tourism goes on, but no evidence that it's in mass, but we know what you're doing. They put it on YouTube. It's been on TV. Women from Europe, England, from America going for that. But the hypocrisy is deep, man. It's thick.
Oh, the hypocrisy is extremely deep. Oh, they're tricking. They're taking advantage of these poor women. But they're doing the same damn thing they're accusing men of doing. They don't say nothing to white men. They don't say nothing to white women. Black men gotta always be in line, do what mama say, do what the plantations say. And then you got these damn passport simps, and these Pukemahs that go around damn trying to tell grown men what to do. It don't make any sense to me as a therapist because I believe in the right to self-determination. And guys, I do this as art imitating life. This is edutainment for me. But I do it also on a serious level because I want men to recalibrate how they think and to live their lives on their own terms. But you cannot convince me that these women didn't travel to East Africa. And I'm not accusing them, but I'm going to guesstimate that they had some fun, them young native boys. Hold tight real quick.
I did it last time, so. Yeah, I remember. You did the dancing. No, I didn't dance. I still got the video. I didn't dance though.
Music is the healing of the nation. Music, I just wanna dance and listen some robot.
What are we choosing to? More life? More life. Okay. More life.
Do you think these women travel, guys? And shout out to Shellis East Africa travel vlog. This is for fair use. for education purposes only. But do you think these women travel just to travel with a bunch of women, or do you think some of these natives are blowing their backs out?
From the look of how she was at the bar, you know, playing with her hair and playing with her hat, she was interested in the guy. So that says she was being flirtatious. And by the way she was talking to the person, she was being very flirtatious. So that's telling you one thing, that she's, you know, doing a little hinky panky, you know.
Right.
The body language. I'm just paying attention to body language.
AJ Sakura, what's your take on this, man? What's your take on this, AJ? What's your take on this?
You know, it's crazy watching this because they remind me of some of the women I know out in my area who they frequent these kind of islands or areas, and you know, look, you know, they're not gonna go out and fully say, "Hey, we're engaging in sex tourism," but you know, it's the kind of the unspoken thing that we know.
Unspoken truth, right? Unspoken truth, right?
You know, so it's crazy seeing this. You know, I think there is some element of, yeah, you know, they're on a vacation enjoying themselves overseas, but I'm going to enjoy myself and get some too while I'm out here.
Exactly, Tim. The body language, the unspoken truth. What are you seeing from this picture?
Oh yeah, no doubt. Women probably speak that better than we do. Like my friend Cody said, the twirling of the hair and and I don't know if you noticed in the first part, old girl kind of almost she did a half tooted it up, and you know, kind of twirling around and sashaying around. I mean, you know, that's peacocking, so to speak.
Right. But I promise you, there was let's say if AJ Shaka was on the beat and he had his shirt off, chilling, talking to a woman. I promise you they would accuse that brother of sex tourism. I promise you they would. We're here over there trying to take advantage of these poor women. Always damn using shaming language, and then you got these damn simp surfers. I'm doing the same thing. It makes no sense, man. It makes no sense, and that's why I tell you, man, just ignore them. Live your life on your own terms, man. Do what's best for you, because the delusion, guys, is unreal. Hold tight. We're gonna finish looking at this movie.
YouTube, and I'm gonna follow her all the way now. Respect to her, blessings, sister, and I hope all of you can come and visit us. Fruta Cabana Woba. She will show you everything. She will give you all the details that you need to know in his blog about Fruta Cabana Bar. And yes, you can like as well, Instagram, Facebook, and please. She's the one that you have to like more than me, maybe, I don't know. Thank you. She's the queen.
Yes, subscribe.
You know, y'all heard that song, so we're gonna get effed up tonight. Y'all heard that song. They said we're gonna get effed up tonight. That's what it looks like, man. You know, and you know, you said Tim, is penis envy, and it is penis envy, and it's also about power. You want power, but they want to take your power. You want fun, but they want to take your fun. You want freedom, but they want to take your freedom. And then the fact that Guapo said that the one that had that was talking about she has a OnlyFans. So you are soliciting men through OnlyFans, but you complain about passport bros that are traveling. It makes some sense, man. The hypocrisy, man, is unreal, brother.
You know, if I can add this, made me think about something Sister Shahrazad said in relation to Black folks and our interactions, and we talk about it all the time. You know what they've gotten over the last 40 years, and she says that society, the government, whoever else, didn't hold women accountable, but gave them the ability to blame everything on us. And I just see that being more of the same. You know, y'all can go to Ghana, parlay on the beach, but if we go to Cartagena, it's a problem.
Right. 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 See this of this passport thing going 2023 and beyond, Tim Hart. What do you think?
I said this I think right before the end of the year on the broadcast. Hey man, I think that's what we need to focus on moving forward, is how to make this thing more it's growing, make it more powerful. The thing that I see in relation to the clip from earlier from Fox in Houston, they noted that, hey, if we buy out, if we check out, it's really a wrap for them. And but it, like you said a few minutes ago, the ship is turned, man. Brothers are gonna have to start looking out for our own self, our own best interests. We're at a point, where you have them openly saying, and I mean, the internet has put this thing in real time. You hear them hopping on panels, you hear them calling on everybody's show, talking about what they don't like about us, how this and that we are, how bad we are. And so what do you expect? Hey man, if and that's the real, if we wanted to put a cap on or give a synopsis of what this is about, just think about what's happened. Passport Bros is a movie that has grown out of situation that's saying, hey, look, we're not wanted, we're not celebrated, we're not valued in our community. Look, there is an alternative. We can go somewhere else. And what do you say, Coach? Is better over yonder? Is that what you say?
It's better over yonder, man.
It's better over yonder. So now, at the same time, there's the reason why I said the internet is a wonderful thing. We see it in real time. At the same doggone time, you see them reacting on TV, online. This lady said, we're pathetic. But you should, instead of going overseas, you should learn how to treat us better. I'm like, well, what? You're mistreating us, but we need to learn how to treat you. Yeah, it's just like I said, it's a bunch of conflating and vacillating and conflating two different things, ain't got nothing to do with each other, and then just straight up lying.
It's solipsism, man.
It's solipsism. I'm gonna have to write that down somewhere. So I'm gonna have to use. If you don't mind, I'm gonna use that.
Sorry, yeah, go and use it. They can't see anything outside of themselves. It's a philosophy, man. And these chicks about to bust it up, man. Hold tight. This thing's looking at some of it. Hold tight.
I pray to the Lord. I write to the Lord. Gonna greet the Lord. I pray to the Lord. Fatumata Jambele. Everything being safe again, man. Everything for your Jambele. Oh, Jambele. Oh, yeah.
Okay, guys, so next stop, we're at the Craft Village, and I don't really know what it's about, but we're here. I do know that we are in front of one of the slave masters' bucket list.
Hold on for a minute, guys.
I used to work on the Region Cruise Line.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in Hawaii.
I knew I was going to be here, but I'm just so happy to experience it with Black women, other Black women who love to travel just as much as I do, and who are positive, no drama. So I'm super happy.
So I'm gonna stop that because I'm gonna get no issues. But let me say this: we're not against all the brothers on this panel. We don't hate Black women. I know you guys love them because some of you guys are looking for Black women. I love it when women can travel. I want them to travel. I want them to have fun. More power to those beautiful sisters. I don't have nothing against them. Don't have nothing against them at all. But when men congregate, men are celebrating. And the woman said something about movement like the civil rights movement, but she don't understand that the civil rights movement was birthed out of oppression. And many men are saying they are oppressed, but because of gynocentric policies. What's your take on that, Cody?
My take on it is, I was looking at Dennis Sperling last night, listening to him on how you remember the Great Migration. You know how most of our family members went from the South to the North and the Northeast. Some went to California.
Right.
Same way, you have a migration of black men are going overseas
Right.
in four corners of the world. So, you know, and what they're trying to do is, again, trying to stop, just like they did before, during the civil rights movement or before the civil rights movement, during the migration, they tried to stop them from going out because they want to keep you in and to keep you gated in and say that this is your country, this is where you need to stay, and this is where you represent me. And they think they own you were their ownership. However, you don't own us. We can go wherever we want.
Right. And this flex is not only a celebration of power, it appears it's taking away their power. What's your take on that?
My take on it with the power.
Yes, sir.
Well, as far as like power, man, they've been trying to take power from us for the last 50 years. And since, we have the platforms to basically talk about our issues, now they see that, we're tired of it.
Right.
They already, black women and women, period, been having talk shows for over 50, 60 years in the United States, whereas black men, you don't see much of that.
Right.
But since we're now talking about what's going on, especially black men, and we've been talking about our issues, now they're starting to wake up and say now, and panic and say, well, no, you can't talk about this. But we starting to finally stand up and have some balls to do it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man, to say the least, man. It's definitely unfortunate, man, and I think this is good that men are seeing the visceral hate towards black men and their ability to exercise power. And this so-called flex is just a celebration of something that has never been celebrated. I want to ask you something, Tim. You and I are from the old school. And when's the last time you remember black men being celebrated in mass?
Man, that would have to be before, and I think I got you by about a couple of years.
Yes, sir.
That's probably before when we were infants, maybe that civil rights generation where, we upheld and revered black men for the struggle they did and for the leadership in the community. I'm not in my lifetime. We grew up in, we came of age in the early 90s. Grew up in the 80s. It was always, I don't want no scrubs. It was always, you don't make enough money. And so, we just, we haven't got it. But I'm glad I'm living to see where we're taking back some of our power.
What's your take on it, Cody?
Well, the same way I grew up in, public housing and grew up in the projects and seeing, crackheads eating the mud growing up, and because they dropped their crack in the mud. And I kind of came from a 2-parent household. So, until my mother and father split, and divorced. However, seeing, like you said, I came from the same era, Mr. Timothy, like, you got to have a GOB if you want to be with me, or, the principal or whatever, they finally see the message that we're going somewhere else to find good quality, great quality women to be with and grow up with the rest of our lives with. Now they see the message on the wall saying, well, dang, they leaving us for them.
Right,
You
right.
gotta do something about that. Kevin Samuels said it best. He said, you know, if you the black, if you don't want that good quality banker or whatever like that, Ling Ling, Marisol and Becky gonna take him.
Maria's my favorite.
Maria, oh yeah, Marisol, Maria, you know, yeah,
I'm in
they
Texas.
gonna take, yeah.
That's an inside joke with me and Kosha.
Right. Brother AJ, when's the last time you seen black men celebrated? We're going to stream in a minute. Then I'm gonna let Tim have the closing words.
I'm gonna be honest with you. At me being 25, there's only one place in my whole life where I've seen black men celebrated,
Talk about it.
and that's in the Islamic community. That's it. Besides that, I can't really think of any other place where I've seen black men celebrated at a consistent rate. Now, I remember Socrates has a similar quote along the lines where he says that if a woman is your equal, that means that she's your superior.
That's deep.
Yeah. So I could see, you know, when they barking back for power, man, it's almost like, you know, you can see those cartoons where the anvil would drop on like an animal or character's head. So kind of it's like, you know, how dare you leave us and leave us here by ourselves. So it's almost like, you know, they're tying a rope to your leg attached to an anvil, right? And then they're just dropping it in the ocean, and you got to drown with them. And that's crazy.
No, I agree, man. I agree with you guys 1,000%, man. Like I said, man, the lack of self-awareness and the lack of understanding what men want is unreal, man. But the good thing is the men are getting it now. They're getting it. They're beginning to see that they have power, and they're not going to be shamed into silence and submission. I count it an honor, man, to give some clinical insight to this matter and also to this malady. Tim, you wanted to say something before I end the stream, man. Go ahead,
I didn't. Yeah, before we end it, and I'm glad, Mr. Cody, you mentioned that having a father and Coach, this is more for me and you, and for Cody. I mean, we grew up with fathers. You know, my father passed. Coach, yours father's still living. Mine passed in 2019. I would not be the man I am. It hadn't been for Pastor O.C. Harden, pastor of the Jackson Spring Hill Baptist Church, a little country church down in east backside of East Texas. And the man worked 45 years at Sears. He had 2 jobs. And the reason why I'm mentioning that because I want to say they were unsung heroes. They didn't get, there wasn't no black man, black magic power for them, but they did what they needed to do. They raised families, and I think I speak for all of us when saying if it hadn't been for those kind of men, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't have the wisdom that we have. But on the forefront, we are. I wanted to add that to say, we're now coming into a season. If you want, I'm use a Pentecostal colloquialism, kosher for you. That's for you. In this new season, yeah, we hey, we're not taking a back seat to, we're not taking baby mamas. We're not taking the other thing I want to add to that is I'm so glad you guys kind of undergirded Austin to give some pushback online at least, because they just been running them up, talking about us straight up and down crazy.
Right.
To me, yeah. And so, giving them some pushback, hey man, that's defamation of character. I thought I said that when I first heard about it. And but yeah, it's only going to grow. This is only a bump in the road, in my opinion. I think BGS said that a couple of nights ago. Hey, it'll smooth itself out. Hearing him talk tonight, he seems to have a very good handle on it. We'll move forward. So this whole this whole thing of them, we don't want you, but we don't want nobody else to have you. Y'all, as my little cousin would say, you can miss me with all of that.
Yeah. Umar and Jason Black have had some consternation because they believe in this static blackness. But
oh my God! I guess I'm not good. I was really just kind of thrown off, and I don't want to take over the panel. But yeah, Let me just say this about this: the guy, a dude from, and I'm not knocking his work for black, quote unquote, black empowerment, but man, stay in your lane. Taking shots and a 4-hour stream about this, where Austin was basically the focal point of it. No, man, they can stop. This.
Yeah, well, I don't take a dude serious, man, that hides behind the screen, won't show his face. Shit, I don't take him serious. You can't cam up and show your face. I don't take you serious.
Right. All right.
Some of Jason Black's work. Some of his work is good.
Yeah, some of his work is good, but like I said, man,
comes off as condescending, man.
Yeah, it can be very condescending. So that
damn know-it-all.
None of us know it all. So
right.
Hey man, I'm gonna drop off. Let you guys finish up. I got I'm a tax. I got some tax returns I need to finish up. I'm gonna check in on Saturday.
Hey, check in, man. It's gonna be lit, man. We're gonna have a good time, man.
All right,
Cody. Thank you, man, for tuning in, man. I appreciate it, Cody. I enjoyed you, man. Thank you for always showing love as well. And AJ, you have any closing words before we end the stream, brother?
This is for the brothers that are traveling right now. I definitely say, just pay attention. Watch your six. Watch who you keep around you, and watch out for the character defamation. Because I see right now that's one of the top weapons that they're looking to use amongst black men and just men overall in general. So
yeah,
go ahead.
I concur, young buck. I concur. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna end this stream on tonight. Got a good show on tomorrow and also Saturday, man. We're gonna have some heavy hitters back on. Guys, y'all gotta fight the power because remember, there are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And world travel and understanding how female psychology plays a role on that said travel could be paramount as men move forward. Shout out to all the good sisters that are trying to do the right thing in a sea of foolishness and craziness. We live in a world now when right is wrong, right is wrong is right, up is down, down is up. But men will continue to do what's best for them and live their lives on their own terms. This has been another great show of The Kosher Clinician. And guys, we are about to sign off. As I get this last thing. Guys, if you don't need any help with mental health, go check me out at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And guys, once again, we're signing off.
Are you a victim of brokenness and despair? A broken man is a hopeless man, and a hopeless man is a very dangerous man. Many times, many of you young men that are listening come from homes that are very toxic and very dysfunctional. And because of that, many of you have deferred your power in many ways to the point it's led over into your social life and many times led over into your relationships. If you guys are dealing with mental health pathologies, conscious and unconscious, come see me at kosherclinician@gmail.com. That's kosherclinician@gmail.com. It's important that you deal with your mental health in order to be a better person for yourself, your loved ones, and also your community. But because mental health is often stigmatized, many of you often suffer in silence. Don't be a victim in silence. And see me once again at kosherclinician@gmail.com. And I need you guys to remember this. If it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. There are 7 steps that a man must go through in order to become an optimized male. And male mental health is one of those elements that's paramount to the functioning of a man. Be well.
it's not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your peace. Drowning by yourself, now you wanna blame me. Like you have no options. I ain't take your options. Nah, I'm not the problem. Man, that's on you, yeah. You've been terrorizing me, yeah, I'm always wrong. I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lie like a rat, but take your stuff back. Baby, it's you. Whatever, and I would never hear. You've been flexing everywhere. Girl, look in the mirror. Man, you so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lying like a rat, but take your stuff back. Baby, it's you. Baby, it's you. If I control the weather, then every day would rain on your parade. Shine, you can't change, yeah. If I was Father Time, then I would change the day. So I never saw your face. What do I have to do to make you go? Oh, baby, it's you. It's you. It's you. It's you.
count me out. I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account. Now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out. I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account. Now I got something to spend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just pull it out and count for nothing when I'm feeling great. Give my baby little more just to spend it, and I'm always on go. I don't hesitate. Used to always know I make it, yeah. I'll be me until I'm in the grave, yeah. See my record, had to set it straight, yeah. I may take it like 10 times 10. I got wires coming in. Some in euros, some in sec, some in dollars, some in yen. I've been trying to keep my zen, keep my cool. Trying to keep the family fed. Get my food. They tried to count me out. I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account. Now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out. I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account. Now I got something to spend. Did it, do it. I did it all, no gimmicks. I did it all, no fibbing. Now I got all these children. Now I got all these clones. Now I got all you twinning. Now I got all you thinking like all you winning. They tried to count me out. They tried to fill that doubt. They tried to ride my wig. They tried to knock me out. They tried to count my wins. They tried to show my yells. They tried to make me in. They tried, but where they now? Where they? Step in the spot and they stare at me. All of these battles will bear me. I swear that nothing compares to me. Feeling blessed. I won't stress. Beat the odds. You know the rest. They tried to count me out. I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account. Now I got something to spend. They tried to count me out. I'ma gon' count me in. Fill up my bank account. Now I got something to spend.
Fire for your mind. Emotion, clinician.